one, hello all. Welcome once again to Blaine's Escape Corner, our little corner of the internet. We get together and we talk about the things that help us escape. Today, it's Tuesday, which means you've entered the Twilight Zone. It is Blaine's Political Corner, where we talk about whatever political mumbo jumbo comes across my feed, across my desk, whatever seems interesting that I wanna talk about. And we touched a little bit last week on some educational things, so we're going to be continuing that a little bit today as well. And worry not, Alex Moore, your reviews are here, friend. I have the reviews. It's the Wendy's. We have the meats. I have the reviews. So let's get started with those. Review number 1. Rurouni Kenshin. And the opium den of secrets. We are big smile on a face. I never really realized it, because when I watched Rurouni Kenshin, it was back in the super late 90s. I may have seen a couple episodes, but I didn't really watch it until the 2003s. At the same time that I was watching like Trigun and sort of catching up on a lot of those mid 90s that I had, seen a couple of because we rented like an OVA and saw something and then I could, find it online when the internet became a thing. And I completely had spaced on how the one bad guy in Rurouni Kenshin is basically a pirate duelist from Yu-Gi-Oh! How many 2003s were there? It was at least 12 months of 2003. You had a lot of 2003's months there. What is he talking about? The guy with the big crazy coat. Because at the time, it was like crazy coat time. So, like, you see Vash in his coat. And then you get to Rurouni. You got this guy in his coat. And my brain now, with like a whole bunch of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Backcanon, is like, oh my gosh. This guy, he looks so out of place. Aoshi. Aoshi is the character. You can't tell me that this guy didn't walk straight out of Duelist Kingdom with his big ass collar. He is 100% a duel master. Look at those wings. He even it matches Exodia's hat. Yes, I'm gonna call this thing on Exodia his hat. The little stripy bits. Look at that. He might as well be an Egyptian god character. I couldn't stop laughing today when they revealed him. Most likely X-Men? Yeah, also Gambit. He's got that look going for him too. It was the time. We had big coats. And then Columbine happened and we're like, oh, we can't do these anymore. Watsky was big into X-Men. I mean, it makes sense. He said that when you watch Vash, but Middle East at night can be 30 degrees. The Duster coat also does make sense with sort of a Western theme like they're going for with Trigun. The crazy red, of course, is, anime only. But at least like big duster coats are pretty standard for that sort of theme they're going for. And you're like, oh yeah, everybody's got big crazy things on. But it made me laugh today. I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder what deck he's about to play. Oh, it was good. Overall, fun episode. I like the little gambling hall. The evens and odds old school Japanese betting is great because like old school Yakuza dens when they would gamble, they're just doing like whatever they have, right? So you got dice. We're just gonna roll dice. You guess if it's even or odd, and then you get money. I mean, this is where Nintendo came from, right? Hanafuda cards are developed, and the Yakuza says anytime we open a deck of cards, it can only be used once. So they're always buying new decks of cards to do more gambling with. And so Nintendo's like, heck yeah, it prints money, baby. Like everybody makes that meme about the DS or the DSi, but no, the original it prints money was Hanafuda cards for Nintendo back when the Yakuza was like, we need new decks every day, every hour. I need another deck. Thank you, please. And they just kept feeding them decks of cards. I enjoy that little setting. It looks like a fun group event. Like, going to Vegas and everybody just sitting around the wheel being like, black, red, black, red, or, whatever. He's shooting craps, whatever they do. It looks like a fun little group adventure time. So, having fun with that. Classic Tatami Mat slap, pops it up. That was a good little bit in that episode. Overall, just really fun, really fun. The new animation really shines in some of these more high movement zones, or where they're like trying to hide what happens when they show what happens, and it gets all revealed. Very, very enjoyable on that. Thank you for the sub. I Am Legend. Very, very, very fun to see. Good to see that. I'm muted. That's why I didn't hear it. There we go. Next episode, level 1. OP level 1. Where's Shum at? Shum, where you at? We're now maxing out the levels of everything. What did we just level up? He's like, oh, I should level up my speed. And then before I knew it, it was maxed. Oh, I'm sorry. Increase my speed level. I don't know how you don't call it level. I don't know how you don't say it. He just keeps on leveling up. Also now, apparently money is a drop, so that exists in this world. I don't know. This show is hilarious. We'll see. But that's gonna be it for anime. I just watched the couple episodes because I'm grading. So digging down. I dug an 18-inch trench today. 18 inches down and about 20 feet long. Just to get a set zone so that, like, when you get like heavier equipment, you get like a bigger bucket, and that big bucket means you have like less fidelity with where you're going. So going through with a shovel to sort of like cut some of the things that are a little bit closer to where sensitive areas of the yard are going to be, then coming back over with a tractor to help fix that up. He graded that ditch a B-. Oh man, it's the most annoying because we had a 1.5 foot spruce over in that area that we felled and stump ground, and I was like, where are these roots coming from? Because like the roots that I'm digging through, I'm like, they don't go to the maple trees we still have. Like, where the heck do these things go? Oh, that's right. We just ground the stump. So there's still roots all over the place here. So that'll be fun once I get the tractor so we can cut that all up and open. Goose, try to watch My Happy Marriage tomorrow. Oh, heck yeah. I will. I'm right on that one for certain. Bum. Let me see if I can open this up without. Okay. Comment review. That's what we're doing next. This is the new one. I'll bring you in, Michael.
Except there's one show you forgot.
What show did I forget? What did I watch?
Masterful Cat. I'm caught up on it, and it is, So I liked it, but the newest episode was kind of weak.
Yeah. I also need to catch up on that one. I haven't even started it.
It's very fun.
Okay, here we go. These are all public comments on YouTube videos that I write, so these people have agreed to saying these things in public. So if I make fun of them, they did this to themselves. Let's see. There we go. All right, can we read these? I know Alex Moore can't read these, but
yeah, I can.
Maybe I'll make them a little bigger. Okay, so today, waifu comes to me, and she says, I guess I can't just open that easily. She says, this shelf is sagging in the shed. Can you make a thing that'll hold it? And I was like, I mean, I'm kind of busy. What would you do? And she's like, well, I'd put a brace in the middle. I'm like, all right, cool, do it. And then she was like, okay, where's the tape measure? Like, here's the tape measure. So she just kept asking me like where stuff was. She's like, where's the drilly thing for screws, which is an impact driver, right? And I just kept pointing her to stuff, and she eventually comes up with the great structure that we have here. I feel like some of them got invaded by bots unless I know these people. I don't know. A little column A, a little column B, maybe. I'm gonna show the video here just so everybody can. So we got a shed that had a sagging shelf, and my wife asked me to fix it, and I asked her what would she do, and other than just show her where the tools are, so she came up with this. We had a bunch of scrap wood, so we had like a 46-inch piece of scrap wood, which wasn't quite long enough. So she then
successfully
screwed it onto a shorter little 2x6, and then we got this little triangle piece that she saw in the scrap wood. So she glued this all up because I was like, here, you want to use wood glue, and here's your screws, and here's your little drill. So she drilled the holes out. She screwed the screws in, glued it all up, and made this little brace that, you know, she sets it in the middle, and it's good to go. The sides are kind of curving up because they'll flatten back down as we put weight on it, but it was great because, you know, people are always like, oh, Blaine, I need help with this, and I'm like, I don't always have time to do that. So it's like teach a man to fish kind of a thing, right? Let the guy making this short explain it. Never. Okay. So first comment I get is WTF cares, which WTF for me is what the F? Look at me, not swearing. What the friggles? But I'm guessing he says he's meaning who the friggles cares. It's a Homesteader account because their name is, you know, Homestead. But like, obviously you care enough to comment. So I mean, who cares? You care. So congratulations, you just won your thumbs up, and I tease you. If this is parody, it's funny. If it's for real, well, well, what? If it's parody, it's funny. Why can't it be funny and real?
That's cringe. Responding is cringe.
Yeah, well, I'm responding in public as I talk to them.
True.
Oh, gosh. What is oh, gosh? I don't understand. Oh, gosh, bagosh. We got Pop over here getting fed the short or grabbing it from one of my links.
Oh, no.
Good job, waifu. Nice job. Thank you. Thank you, Pop. You get the heart. That joke was mid. It's all right. Not all my jokes need to be bangers. Have you seen my shorts? The dumbest ones sometimes get the best responses. Careful. You might find out she doesn't need a husband anymore. I love this one. That's why I don't organize the tools. She always has to ask me where the tools are. She'll never know because she'll be like, "Oh, I found the screw drill thing here last time, but it's not here." I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. Where is it now? I know where the
drill
tools
bit?
are.
Why do you keep the drill bit separate?
Why are all the impacts elsewhere?" And this guy, that's just melted ice cream, is literally not.
That.
Egg yolk, sugar, and wine. Whipped until foamy. So I'll just that's an educational one. I don't know who this animator is, but they're there. And a good laughy cry for my Honda Acti. So you get a thumbs up, buddy. I don't know how to help this person. Got a new comment on the short? Uh-oh. Imagine thinking organizing the tools will make a difference. Women. Okay, now we got 2 hearts. We get 2 hearts there. I mean, somebody has to have organized tools in a way that their wife can find the tools, right? Somebody out there must. Oh, now I have to zoom out because when you zoom in on YouTube, it also zooms in on my my chat pop out. That is the most annoying thing. No, I will never stop interrupting that guy. That chatter. That short maker. Alright, Discord open up. What the heck is this? A short story in 4 parts? What do we got, Veritax? What are you sharing with the class here? Okay. But we're this will be good.
You ever fuck with me, I'll see you ever again. You ever fuck with me, I'll see you ever again.
Oh my god.
She doesn't even make it 6 steps before she starts twerking on the street. Okay, there's part 1 of our arc.
Half a second later, she's twerking on the street.
This is for the fact that you're a white man and I'm a black woman. I have less privilege than you. Thank you.
Oh, I feel bad.
Okay, so reparations are slapping white men. That seems useful. That seems like what everybody really needs, right?
What have I ever done to anybody in my life to deserve this? I never did anything in my life to hurt anybody.
Look at that dude!
Literally,
Holy crap! Can we make this bigger? Holy crap! Jeez! Oh my goodness!
man asked me for my number. I said no, and he picked up a brick in front of so many men.
Okay, a brick.
And was like,
Holy shit.
"What you gonna do?" And I told all these men, like, "Yo, why this man got a brick on my face?" And he.
You know, when Stitches said, I shove a brick in your face, now what you gonna do about it? He was talking about bricks of cocaine, not actual bricks. Did I? Veritax, someone get Veritax up to speed here. Tell him to speed it up. Do I need a stump grinder? No, I've got a stump grinder. I mean, I have access to one.
Okay, but do you need one?
No, I'm good right now.
He'll hook you up.
He's holding a brick, and all these niggas is watching, and nobody does nothing. And he hits me in my face, and then they all just watch, and they let that nigga get in a car. How is this okay? This is what y'all doing to women?
I mean, he just hit someone with a brick. Why would they stop him?
Yeah, I mean, dude's got a. Was he still holding the brick, or did it shatter on your head? Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna.
It just the impact vaporized it.
Maybe you have an iPhone because I'm about to brick you. Yeah. I mean, don't hit people with bricks. That can kill them. Don't do that.
How does this story end?
But the slapping twerker, when you put them next to each other, I'm like, ha! Got hit finally. Then you say brick, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. She could have died. That sounds not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, she'll be fine.
Come on.
She wasn't able to hit the gritty after that. I condone violence, but this is proof the man upstairs is watching and giving karma.
I'll be back.
Oh my goodness. I still can't get over the fact that she slapped a guy on the street and took like 5 steps and then just started twerking in the middle of the road. Why? 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 One use brick. I ran out of uses and I broke my brick. Oh, can you imagine taking a brick to the face? That, ugh. It's one thing to like fall onto like cement and like hit your head. Cause like you bounce, you hit, you got a lot of the rest of your body that hits the ground before you like bounce your head. I mean I skateboarded for years. Still skate from time to time, but I'm a lot more yeah, I'm just gonna roll around until I'm tired than I used to be. But man, I've rammed my head a few times onto the concrete, and I can't imagine taking a brick. Gift card to a brick store. Problem is she needs more mortar. That's what she needs. She needs more mortar. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Alex. Could also be a temporary fix. What actually happened to that lady? Oh, nice. What do we got? I shove a brick in your face. Now what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it?
Stop playing with it. Red light, green light, go.
Flex glue's a powerful adhesive. Even this heavy brick is gonna stick.
What? You telling me this whole time I've been using just regular old Scotch tape to affix my bricks to my door jambs? It's gonna be a revelation. Oh! Shoot! Oh! Oh! Oh!
Classic John Tron. Classic John. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Ooh, light is EDC. You know, ooh, little tiny 1/4-inch drive. I like that. I am an O-light guy. The guy who did it was a Freemason. Trying to catch up at 2x speed. Good. Good, Vertex. You'll make it. I believe in you.
I don't.
All right. Let's get into the story.
Let's get started.
Let's get started in the story. I'm going to assume, for the sake of the internet, that everyone is familiar with PragerU, right? Dennis Prager makes a university that's just an internet bunch of videos where he educates people on things with sometimes good, sometimes not good amounts of research done
Sometimes
before a
very
video is created. So I saw on Twitter, X, that PragerU was trending, and when I clicked it, it was a bunch of people that were saying PragerU in Texas schools, PragerU in you know, this, that, and the other thing, and I was like, no way. As I'm scrolling through the trending tab to see what else they're saying, Superintendent Ryan Walters is excited to announce this initiative with PragerU Kids today. These additional resources will help ensure quality instruction in American history and values, and will enrich educational opportunities for our students. You familiar with the tax deductible man? You keep getting a crap load of those ads? Oh, the Chromebook ads?
Mm-hmm. No, the PragerU ads.
Oh, the PragerU ads. Oh, it's even worse. So Oklahoma City, OSDE, Oklahoma State Department of Education. Partnership with PragerU. The Oklahoma State Department of Education launched an ongoing partnership with PragerU Kids. PragerU Kids provides educational, entertaining, pro-American kids content. I am thrilled to announce this partnership with PragerU, said Superintendent Ryan Walters. This expansion of our available resources will help ensure quality materials rich in American history and values that will be available to our teachers and students. We'll work together to find ways for PragerU to create content that will enrich and educate the education of Oklahoma students. Additional information and links, more information about PragerU Kids, about Ryan Walters, state, blah, blah, blah. He did the thing. So, of course, everyone in the comments is like, PragerU's videos are misleading and they deny climate change and say that slavery wasn't bad. Like, they use the Wikipedia. A Republican indoctrination meme. We got excellent news from Chris Rufo. Well done, sir, for all the good folks in Oklahoma. We support you. Tuttle Twins. Maybe you should look into their stuff, says other guy. PragerU kids partnering with Oklahoma. Here we go. I have so many thoughts on this, and I don't know that they're going to be the thoughts you think I'm going to have about how PragerU is hilarious, and I don't understand how they're going to be like an actual educational thing. I do think that, but I think this goes kind of beyond that in a way. But I want to see what they're going to say about it as well. Wish you had your comp. It has ad blocker. Your ad blocker is worse than not paying taxes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. PragerU loves Lincoln. I think the video might have premiered. Got several ads for Battle Spirits Saga game. Is that one of the ones that, like, it's anime girls, but they give them a little jiggle? My God, how dare those children be pro-America? Finally got up with the rest of the live stream. Yay, Veritax is here. Now we can watch Oklahoma together.
Superintendent Ryan Walters, I heard you have some great news from your great state.
I don't know who this is, but I do. Right? Like, she's a copy paste of this one type of woman you've met your entire life who is in some sort of like mid to high end sales position for their entire career, where they're always like working with people with lots of money. And they have this face, that balayage hair, everything about it. Like this woman is a clone, and I have met like 6 of her other clones in my life. Listening to the bricked woman at 2 times speed was unintentionally funny. I'll have to try it later.
Tell us about our partnership with PragerU.
I could not be more excited to be able to announce today that Oklahoma is entering into a partnership with PragerU to make available PragerU courses, content available for every school in the state of Oklahoma. I cannot be more excited to get this content in our classrooms, to get...
Right now has an excellent white girl booty. I hope you didn't put me on the PAs while I read that out in your workplace. Oh man. Yeah, so really should we start at the beginning of education? Maybe we'll start at the beginning. Let's let them finish. This isn't too long of a video. What are they going to say here?
Get this understanding of American history without any indoctrination, but actually the facts of what happened.
I mean, isn't it going to be indoctrination even if it is the facts? Like, I feel like indoctrination is like grooming. Like, it's not the act that's a problem. It's what you teach somebody that would be the problem, right? Like, indoctrinating to tell the truth and be loyal and, you know, don't kill people. You kind of indoctrinate kids because they're kind of too dumb to like know deeply morally why morality.
I was gonna say, before you said don't kill people, you were describing a gang.
Yeah, it's like a gang, exactly. America's a big gang. We all get cool vests with patches. He's not at work yet properly. Oh, good. Oh,
yeah, it's a bit early.
I need my AC turned down. The entire point of public education is having a common base of knowledge. The issue is whether the indoctrination is consistent with longtime American values or something completely different. Hot take, I guess. I don't think that the school body should be indoctrinating any values necessarily. I think it should be telling the things that happened or how the world works if we're looking for like a base level of knowledge. Now, some assignments can be designed to allow kids to sort of explore where they think their values lie, But as far as like this is the right American value, this is the wrong American value, like I mean obvious ones of killing aside, I don't know. Like we used to talk like in our history class, we would like learn about a war, and then kind of you would split the class and be like who's for and against the war, and then they would kind of argue about it. But the teacher never like taught, they just taught like what the facts of the war were, and then we could just kind of work through it to sort of help develop your critical thinking skills. I don't know. I don't know that the educational system should be teaching that, unless you're literally paying for a Christian school education and sending your kids to a private Christian school that should be giving them good Christian values on everything. I don't know that that values should be taught in like public school. 1 minute, I gotta turn this AC back down. Whew.
Yeah.
That is a funny thing. Do you say turn the AC down, or do you say turn the AC up if you want it to be colder in the room?
Down. You want to turn it down to be colder because that's colder.
Right. You go based on thermostat position.
Mm-hmm.
If they cover the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, and the Constitution, they're in effect indoctrinating into the American system. I don't think, by the way, but to act like it's not how things work in our government is a bit disingenuous, I think. The earliest schools taught out of the first Bible printed here in the States. Most people don't realize that. Depends on whether it has fan speed and temperature. I've heard it said both ways. If it has fan speed, turn it up. If it doesn't, turn it down. I leave the fan on auto most of the time and just sort of set the thermometer that way. Or the thermostat, sorry. So
And we resent you for leaving it on auto.
Really? Why?
I mean, you gotta pick a feature. Because I had an auto fan, and it would always jump from like 1 to max for no reason.
No, I just it's always set to cool in the summer, and then I just set the temperature. That way, if it's like we just turn the temperature up, the auto fan will auto shut off.
Mm.
All right, let's continue for a bit.
That our kids can know the principles this country was founded on. And it's just incredible content. I cannot wait for our teachers to get a hold of it.
Well, Ryan, I know that you are
Also, Oklahoma, why were our teachers, I say our, I mean, I say this as an American, why were our teachers not already teaching them how the country was founded and the principles they were founded on? They're literally written out what the principles are. Why weren't you teaching that? Michael Vice fans of the EBT card. I found an AC unit that got marked as food at the Target. Let's go!
You are now the superintendent of Oklahoma, but you were once a history teacher. And you once told me that you used to use PragerU videos in your classroom. So share some of that with us.
I did. As a history teacher, I was using a lot of PragerU's videos in my class because they do such a great job of explaining the facts, giving the background, giving the context.
I used to suck at teaching, so I was basically like the cuck version of a teacher. I would just put on something that would do the teaching for me while I sat there and, gave out the assignments that I had to give out.
Yeah, I made worksheets for them to fill out while watching these damn PragerU videos.
And by made a worksheet, I mean, I Googled PragerU questionnaire.
Mm-hmm. Now I don't even have to do that because they'll do it for me.
But in some, they want to reframe it for some reason. How and where? I mean, any time I hear a talking point on like how schooling is changing, I believe you that there are places that are teaching things that you don't want them to learn. But I do want to always challenge you to come with a receipt on that. Like, okay, LA County wants to adopt or did adopt the fact that they're now teaching that the framers of the Constitution were trying, and like the lesson plan that says they were all white guys trying to make sure white guys stayed in power. Like, sure. If you can come to me with here's what they changed the lesson plan to, awesome. God bless that student. I got a comment over on Rumble real quick. God bless that student that brought an image of the Gaston flag. He was booted out. Many students are now bringing images of the Gaston flag. The district back down. Yes, they did. They did back down. That kid is now famous. Lockers he was once shoved into are now being adorned with the Gadsden flag, and it's hilarious. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say a little bit different because I'm in college, and obviously it's different, but like my teacher is like very clearly a fucking communist. Like there's no doubt in my mind that this woman is obviously a communist.
Yeah. Are they obviously a communist and annoying about it? Because I had a couple teachers in college. Now, granted, I went through a lot of different majors before I was like, I'm not gonna go to college. So I was in a class where we stopped and did yoga, and I just was like, I don't need to do yoga. This is like English. What are we doing here? And I was in a business class where the lady who taught it also was working with like Green Mountain on all kinds of stuff. But I had a couple teachers that were very clearly like heavily Marxist, and were Marxist in such a way that they actually were able to like communicate and just kind of question like normal things you just think. You're like, oh, this is how it works. And like, well, is that the best way it works? And me, it's like, yeah, I can think through how capitalism works better than a communist system, and have like a discussion with them. And it was like just a little bit of a like, oh, here's someone who disagrees with me so that I can kind of debate, banter with them, and we can sort of get better critical thinking going through why do I think capitalism is better, and we can have a discussion. Versus I've had those teachers that are like, I need you to step out of the classroom. Like I've had both. So
I got you, but it's more like they're kind of hiding it a little bit. Like they're openly quoting Klaus Schwab and Mike Flint in the class, and I'm just like, if I didn't look at the textbook and see your fucking weird commie definitions of shit, I would think you're just a little weird.
Yeah.
But like, no, this is like you're teaching commie bullshit.
You remember when they did that? They handed a sheet to make sure you were watching it. Yep. Yeah, that was we always got that in science.
Mm-hmm.
Both, damn it! But I don't understand what's wrong with both. How is this the triggering event for a guy that can't pronounce any name in the Bible? Yeah, anytime we had like chemistry or science classes, they would watch like a Nova special, or we'd watch, something there. It always came along with a quiz on like, okay, let's see if we actually retained anything from the video. And
Bill
then
Nye
it's
the
just,
guy?
What?
Bill Nye the science guy?
No, that was well after Bill Nye. Bill Nye had stopped me in Science Guy, I think when I left middle school. They have a language on a page before every class of school year with language like bias-based behavior is prohibited. And I'm like, wait, all bias-based behavior? What does that even mean? I mean, we should be allowing based behavior in the classrooms. It should be mandatory. And you should show up with your biases. Acknowledge your bias, but, show up with it. Did you flip off your college teacher's plane? No, I didn't have to flip them the bird to let them know that I was not pleased with paying money to be in a class to learn English that then started doing yoga. They figured it out pretty fast. I had another teacher that was like, he's like the guy who helped campaign at the city council meeting to make sure that the Nestle factory didn't go in the Northwest. And I was like, what? You mean you screwed thousands of people out of jobs? Man, you're an ass. What are you doing?
And they're always
like,
proud of it.
I'm saving our water system. They won't drill our water. It's like, this is Seattle. They'll find water. Nova was a public broadcasting silent show initially. It might have ended up on Discovery. Oh, yeah.
And also doing it in a way that students really, really enjoy. And so it really, you guys strike that great balance between a lot of information, but also in a very digestible way. I actually still show a lot of the content to my own children at home. And so I'm really excited as a teacher that used it in my.
Oh, the best Veritax on the I disagree, but you've written it so well, A+, is I did a technical writing class, and one of our assignments was like a business plan, and I got an F. I got an F on this business plan in the technical writing class. They were like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But what I did is I followed the 6 steps of the sales process to convince someone to invest. I took that and I went and got a $10,000 investment from a business owner that I knew, because he's like, hell yeah, this is a great idea. So you can shove your F technical writing teacher that I used to have. Is he recording this on his cell phone? Yes, look at him. He's standing, he's like, where are the prettiest pictures I can have in my background in my house so that I can get this filmed nicely?
My class, as a parent that uses it at home with my kids, that now every parent can utilize these resources. And I know that's something else that you guys do a great job of, is all this content will be available for parents to see, for parents to utilize. And that's so important to me as well, that we have full transparency with parents. And we also give them the tools and resources to be successful at home as well.
I love that you say that, because it's such an important thing that we do here. We are trying to make sure that parents really re-engage in their children's education. We want to make sure that every piece of content
I mean, this PragerU lady has like a shackle, like a chain chunk behind her. Does that mean she's pro-slavery? Awful lot of white people in the photos behind her. This is not recorded live. This is being cut up. Yeah, I bet they just had like a Zoom meeting and they just recorded it and then stuck together what they needed to for this.
we make here at PragerU is visible to parents. So there is no more gaslighting, that parents can get involved. And I love that you in leadership recognize how important it is that the role of parents is so significant in a child's education.
You know, when you talk about education, really what it is it's having a parent at home that's engaged, that is a part of everything that the student is learning and everything the student is doing. And it's having a well-equipped teacher in the school that is able to help, get these facts across to students, help facilitate learning, help drive that home. But it starts with a parent. Everything around education should be centered around parents and their involvement. And then again, making sure teachers have the resources and training to be successful. And I think PragerU is a
time to free Bic Veritax. They're not colored pencils, they're pens of color.
crucial piece in this. We're excited to be one of the first states to make this announcement because again, we're constantly trying to find ways to get parents more involved. And also, how do we get the best materials to our teachers so that the learning environment is as effective as possible in the classroom?
Given that you're...
I'm positive on the sentiment. However, I don't think that using YouTube-based content to help teach children in the classroom is a way to get parents engaged with the learning. Like, I think you need parents to be engaged with the learning. That is the best way for a child to learn, is for them to get the knowledge, get the information, be not confronted on it, but like collaborated on it with their parent. Really helps sort of sink it in. Parent can ask some more questions because they should theoretically have a little bit higher level of knowledge. Which may be the real problem when it comes to Oklahoma, is that the parents don't actually have a higher level of knowledge, and they're like, "Oh man, good job, Billy." They just don't know. They don't know anything else besides that. Very, very important. I don't see a PragerU videos being played in a classroom as instant. Oh yes, now I can engage with my child. This is, oh Billy, it's time for your homework time. Grab that YouTube on the iPad and have fun for about an hour. I mean, not fun. I want you learning. I want you watching them PragerU Kids videos so you're ready for your test on Monday. Like,
okay,
that's,
hear me out.
It's really just more iPad time for kids.
Imagine Ben Shapiro being part of your school's curriculum.
Okay.
That'd be really funny.
With Daily Wire is Ben Shapiro, right?
Don't they, doesn't all the Daily Wire people do guest appearances on PragerU?
Oh my gosh, do they?
They do.
All right, now I'm pro this. I want to see Ben Shapiro teaching kids content, or Brett Cooper. Brett Cooper teaching high school studies. All of the men will fail.
Matt Walsh. Anime is demonic.
No. Keep Matt Walsh out of schools. I would immediately pull my kids out of school. No tiny-hatted man will teach a progeny of mine.
You're so familiar with the PragerU Kids content and the content in general. What is your recommendation for teachers? What's a good way to start? What are some of your favorite videos? And even for parents, what are some of your favorite PragerUs?
Yep, some of my favorite PragerUs involve the founding of the country and involve some of those founding documents. And
is that what they call them internally? Is PragerUs? I'm gonna laugh when this guy's like, my favorite PragerU is the one where the bill teaches us how a bill passes in Congress. It's like, that wasn't yeah, okay, all right, yeah, it was PragerU. Go ahead.
Centered around what the founders believed and a little bit more about them. I think it's so important that our young people understand American history first through our principles. What was the country founded on? What did the founders believe? These principles are what makes us an exceptional country, makes us the greatest country in the history of the world. And then you look at American history through those principles. So what are times that America lived up to those principles and led the world? And then you have an open and honest discussion about the times we didn't. And that's how we continue to be the leader of the free world, is that we continue to push ourselves to be guided by those core principles. And I believe PragerU has some great content around the Constitution, around the Declaration of Independence, around some of the early presidents to really help articulate what their vision was for the country. That I love the deep dive into the speeches as well. I love being able to look.
Is it that the teachers just sucked at teaching the curriculum? So they're like, you know what? If we just have it on a video with pretty colors, the kids will watch it and they'll learn more than if they listen to this teacher who doesn't care.
Yes.
Do they not have enough teachers? So they have to increase the size of classrooms. So they're like, well, if we do videos, then, we can make sure everybody's getting the same information. I had a lot of fun in my history and civics classes because you always had some sort of project that you would end up doing for those classes. Like in civics, we did little mini governments that we would have throughout the year, and you would as we learned about how the government functions, we would be writing our own constitutions and everything, and getting that all set up in a Pacific Northwest history course that I took. It was a great class. I loved it. We all started our own little Oregon Trail, basically, where it was like the D&D version of Oregon Trail, where we all had paper in groups and we had money to start our journey, and then we would get there to the Northwest and just I loved all those projects. They were so engaging. I can't imagine being that engaged with a PragerU video. Do they have a video on Shays and the Whiskey Rebellion? Maybe. We were doing a mock trial. You were out sick when an event occurred, so I ended up on the jury. Don't make me do all the talking in chat, please. Don't worry. I won't make you do any talking in chat if you don't want to. It's politics day.
And see, listen, here's some of the words from the
crying.
speeches, these famous speeches that you all know, but let's provide some
Better get busy talking or get busy dying.
Context. Let's really talk about why these lines are so crucial in American history and why they inspired so many Americans. And so I love the content around the founding era, around the Constitution.
Why is his wood wall decorated with wood?
Oh, this guy just really likes grain. He's like, man, look at that grain pattern.
Damn.
Oh,
All right, I'll be back.
that is a crosscut right there. You checked out one of the PragerU Kids videos about Joseph and his Armani coat. I wouldn't teach that story to my kids that way. Is it supposed to be Joseph in the Technicolor Dream coat?
In the Declaration. And I really love the biographical sketches that really give you an opportunity to understand the significance of these key moments in American history.
I love that you bring up the speeches. Maybe this is something that we can also partner and develop together. And that is, there are such important, famous speeches that are not being taught in classrooms anymore and really teach the foundational values of.
What speech in American history is not being taught in classrooms anymore? Technicolor Dreamcoat is Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's the best version of the story. Stop banning books. Learn history from primary sources.
Yeah, like
Welcome,
Benedict
Renee Wall.
Arnold.
I'm confused though. What speeches are not being taught in school? Is it a dumb speech? Oh my gosh, that was piercing in my ear for some reason.
No, you need the context surrounding the speeches. That's what he's saying. You don't need to know about the speeches. You just need the context.
You don't think they teach the Federalist Papers much? I mean, the Federalist Papers was kind of a smaller section. We didn't go in too deep to, we did like a broad, here's what they're about. I don't think we really went into the papers specifically, at least through high school. Maybe we did in college, but I didn't take too much history in college.
That we were supposed to read one of them, and no one did.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever read any books in high school or middle
Yes.
school? Oh, I hardly read any of the books.
Shit, what was it? I read Soul Eater in high school.
Wait, did you say Soul Eater?
Yeah, I said Soul Eater. The anime, the manga. I read the manga.
The only books I read in high school were Chuck Palahniuk books when I was in my junior year, because the senior English teacher was also the computer lab teacher. And so I would talk to him about what they were learning, because they were learning about like postmodernism, and I was like, oh, this is such a weird belief structure. Let me get some of that art. They weren't even like my assigned reading. I was reading other classes' assigned readings. I didn't read my own. I was like, books are books, so I can figure it out. It's not gonna be that hard. Who makes most of the American history books? Let's see. Are they done? Sounds like an Oklahoma problem. We learned about the Federalist Papers in Virginia. Let's see. American history books for middle school and high school. Saddleback Educational Publishing. Oh, maybe I should do who publishes. Who publishes? Ask a Zoomer, what is Memorial Day about? And what's Memorial Day about?
Memorial Day? Ain't that about like memories of those who died or something?
Good. Good enough.
Oh, I got that right.
What about who died though?
Veterans.
Veterans. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then what is Veterans Day about?
The ones that lived.
Nice. That's the easy way. Saddleback, is that Rick Warren's publishing house? I don't know, maybe. It just is the first one that pops up when I said who publishes American history books. U.S.
I'm
history
slowly
textbook.
preparing the ingredients to try Serranos's nacho meat recipe.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah.
good right there. Here's an AP history book. What is this? Who made you? AP history book.
The government.
Government. It's on authors, publisher, Macmillan Higher Education. U.S. learning. Are you a student or are you an instructor? Welcome, Zerium.
Zerium.
Whatever.
Zerium.
I can't go look at my books because my books are all specific because I went to a private school, so I can't imagine they would use the same textbooks that I had in a public school even back then.
It'd be funny though.
Do you know why we wear a red poppy for Veterans Day?
No.
The red poppy, I don't know.
I didn't know there was such a thing. Red poppy.
I mean, it's a flower. I don't know. We did more so printed articles with questions, but I'm unsure if it was because overall school was like that or because it was the art academy. Never really any books, you don't think? Indians, oh man, I had an Indian friend in high school, so I got my history. I think you mean Native American.
No. I think you feather or die.
History Channel, 2017.
Oh yeah, we watch tons of History Channel videos, so I don't see how it'd be that much different.
It looks like it's a French people thing. Yeah, I don't know that we do.
What was her name again? Renee?
Renee?
Yeah,
Renee
that's a
Wall?
French person. That is a French person.
Reminds Americans of the sacrifices made by our veterans while protecting our freedoms. Says National Poppy Day at the American Legion Auxiliary National. But that's interesting. Came from World War I? Remembrance Poppy. Here we go. Remembrance Poppy is an artificial flower worn in some countries to commemorate the military personnel who died in war. Remembrance poppies are produced by veterans associations who exchange the poppies for charities. Gotcha. Inspired by the war poem In Flanders Fields and promoted by Juana Michael. This is your fault. They were first used near the end of World War I to commemorate British Empire and United States military casualties of the war. Madame Grelin established the first Poppy Days to raise funds for veterans, widows, orphans, Liberty Bonds, and charities such as the Red Cross. Remembrance poppies are most commonly worn in Commonwealth countries where it has been trademarked by veterans associations for fundraising. Remembrance poppies in Commonwealth countries are often worn on clothing in the weeks leading up to Remembrance Day, with poppy wreaths also being laid at war memorials on that day. However, in New Zealand, remembrance poppies are most commonly worn on Anzac Day. The red remembrance poppy has inspired the design of several other commemorative poppies that observe different aspects of war and peace. My veteran relatives were mostly in support categories, so did not have one die in active combat, so I never really thought about a remembrance thing. But if you're wearing a poppy for remembrance on Veterans Day, shouldn't you do that on Memorial Day?
No.
Virginia is a commonwealth, but we aren't a country because we lost the war of northern aggression. Richmond could have been the capital. It's dog whistle. He's whistling. You may ever learn about Teapot Dome scandal up in Sinclair's The Jungle and then watch The Grapes of Wrath. Bill O'Reilly, yes, that one, wrote a decent Indian tribal leader history book a few years ago. Wait, really? Interesting. Veritax doesn't even know what the red poppy is either. See, the Constitution makes to defer. Virginia still has sovereignty. The question is over what?
Of America. And so maybe this is something we can meet and develop not only for your state, but I love that you guys are pioneers with us in trying to bring the truth to American kids, and would love to continue developing additional content and supplementary resources so that, you know, our children will learn the truth.
Yeah, and I'm very excited, and I love the mentality at PragerU to continue
that cut was
improving,
bad.
to continue to make sure that all the content's available. Because when you see and you look at the great speeches in American history, when you look at the Gettysburg Address, when you look at Martin Luther King's letter from a Birmingham jail, you look at these moments, they often...
What?
It's like he's holding a phone to film himself.
He is.
Oh.
We already said this. Maybe you were away. You might have been away.
I probably was.
There's a fabulous picture book called The Populady about a lady named Moana Bell, Michael, who single-handedly worked to establish it as a symbol of honor and remember of the soldiers of World War I.
They're French, so you pronounce it Michel.
No, so Moana Bell married this other guy named something Michael, right? We just read this. Hold on. Remembrance Poppy. What about the Mustache Man letters from jail? Nobody cares about those letters.
Eat shit, stew.
Oh, no, okay. So, the war poem is In Flanders Field, which is written during the First War by Canadian physician Lieutenant Colonel Hold on. I'm just going to bring this over here so everyone else can see this. War poem written here. Flanders feels the poppies blow between the crosses row on row. So this was written by Canadian physician Lieutenant John McCrae. Promoted by Moine Michael. Moine Belle Michel was an American professor and humanitarian who received the idea of using poppies as a symbol of remembrance for those who served in World War I. First used near the end of World War I to commemorate British Empire, United States, Madame Grelin used them at Poppy Days to try to raise funds for veterans. Okay, so there's our 1, 2, 3. Poem, make it a symbol, make money off it. Or get money for veterans for it. I'll be charitable.
Okay, but you still pronounce Michael as Michel. That's just a French thing.
She was a teacher at Georgia Normal School for Teachers. It's a normal school. I'm going to pronounce it normally.
Well, it's for teachers.
Refer back to the core principles as laid out in the Declaration, some of the language in the Constitution. American history has been so built around those core.
Learning more history here than in high school. DR, I used to say that The Simpsons taught me more than school ever did. A, because most of what I learned, I end up learning from my parents because I would be like, hey, here's what we're learning. And then my dad, who was also going back for his GED at the time, would be like really excited about the things that he was learning. So he would like, oh, you learned this math thing. Here's the next and the next and the next math thing. So like at home, I was always like learning with my dad the next math thing. So like I didn't really learn much from school. I was just kind of like reminded as we hit different categories. But also Simpsons always teaches you about sticking with family, and family comes first. So at least until the whatever season that everything got worse at. So yeah, I'm glad I can be part of your learning, tangential learning from a stream where we've been banging our heads against Fire Emblem for 100 hours. And soon we'll build robots. Don't worry, that's coming. Welcome. Welcome, Brownie. Welcome to the team, to the group. Check out the Discord if anyone's interested. Pop that up there as well. 8, 9, 10, or 7, 10, 11, or 17. I'm gonna go with 17 because I remember it was a little ways into the double digits.
Or key principles that you see the references to them. And it's important that our kids understand where the language comes from. Why did they reference back to these founding documents? What are other moments in American history where we actually point back to the founding? We point back to those core principles. So I think it's as a history teacher, I was always trying to find ways to drive in the Federalist Papers. Why were they important? Why were these key moments in American history when they're really, facing crises or facing challenges throughout America? How did they get out of it? What drove the leaders at the time to really focus in on solutions that were guided in principle? And so I think it's key that when you teach history, you really do that. You give the context and you really tell the story of how these leaders were able to make these incredible decisions that end up changing the course of human history.
Ryan, you are a history teacher, and so I'm sure you're going to relate to this comment, but one of the...
Isn't he's like a board member now, isn't he? Isn't that what I just found out? Like, don't call him a history teacher. He's a superintendent. Put some honor on that title, please.
The opinion pieces published in the New York Times recently about PragerU condemned us for undoing the great work of Howard Zinn. And, there are just vicious attacks against PragerU and the content that we're making because we are not towing the same hateful narrative, this narrative that teaches young kids to hate their own nation, to hate their own country. And I'm just curious, what is your reaction to those kinds of hit pieces against us?
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd.
Do you feel like you were taught to hate your country?
No.
Okay. Did you go to school in California, or are you just going to college there?
Yes, I did go to school in California.
Okay. So, going to school, worst of the worst, still doesn't feel like he was taught. But that was what? 6 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah. Which grade are we talking about?
I don't know. Freshman year of high school.
Yeah, that's 7 years ago.
Okay. So, still decently ways back for you. George Trahan ever shows back up, we can ping him and be like, hey, do you feel like you hate America?
Hey, how's that asthma thing going on? how's that working out?
Which one?
Trey, he has to keep his door open, remember?
Oh, that's right. He can't do his battle prep. I'm telling you, man, just own it. Go out in the yard and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Got to feel
Do
the
it with
wind
a
in your
long
hair.
stick.
Get in with nature.
And the reason that you're getting those is because you're actually telling history the way it.
Wait, hold on. I read a book on Howard Zinn. It's all in our schools now. It's horrible. I agree with PragerU on that. What schools where, Alex? I've laid this down with Veritex earlier. I need receipts. I need receipts. I agree. I agree there are many problems, but we can't just say this is in all the schools. We have to say this is in this school. Here's the district. Here's the facts. Let's get it right. The Canadian big fake booby trans teacher shows back up to class, male presenting once again. Okay. We can point to a very specific example of, oh look, they didn't really mean it. What's going on here? We get something. Name every school in the district. I don't need every school in the district. I just need to know what of Howard Zinn is being taught where. Otherwise, we can't like engage with other people on this, because if we say what Howard Zinn is teaching is infecting our schools. Okay, what does that mean? How is it infecting the schools? Do the teachers think it? And there's like a teacher that said something one time that got stuck on libs of TikTok. Is it actually in the curriculum? Is it a test that was handed out that has a question that sounds like it goes that way? Is it a book that was written by him that's now being taught in school? Is it being taught critically, or is it being taught as gospel? Like all of these things are important to have in your pocket when you come with any sort of like, oh, this is happening. You gotta have that if you want to have a discussion with somebody that can get them onto, oh, okay, that is a problem. Like CRT, right? CRTs in schools. What were you always countered with? If you're like, oh, that's a CRT talking point. Well, no, they're not teaching CRT in elementary school. They're just, teaching that, XYZ without knowing that XYZ is a CRT talking point. So if you can't say CRT teaches that your whiteness correlates to all of these things that are then considered bad, and that we should find ways to abolish that whiteness. And now kids are being taught that these people did a thing because of their whiteness, and that is going to lead them, because they're kids, to hear the word whiteness, and the way you've written this in CRT sounds extremely racist, and it's not going to work. Now, you may be teaching about people who were racist, but now the way that you're presenting it to a child is going to get them confused and misunderstood. They're going to think, well, I'm white, but I'm not racist. And you're going to ruin kids. You're going to get self-hating little kids, right? You got to go deep down into that really specific thing. And if you can say like the district that it goes to as well, like that makes your speech even more powerful. Receipt checking me? I took that personal. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, though. I believe you that that Zinn's teachings are in school somewhere, but you need to come with the how and where. Otherwise, you're always going to just get brushed off as, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's happening.
The question is, what are his teachings?
I don't know. Anti-American.
Weird.
Finally, we've summoned him. Welcome, flawed man of God.
Are you just waiting for me?
I figured you'd show up sooner or later because you got kids.
I came here on behalf of Alex. So
oh, perfect.
I was wikiing while we were talking about this Mr. Zinn, and apparently he started the initiative Teaching for Change. It's a nonprofit organization founded in '89, based in DC. As of 2006, the state of Mississippi passed the Civil Rights / Human Rights Education in the Mississippi Public Schools Curriculum Bill, which mandated the integration of civil rights and human rights topics on the curriculum of K-12 top schools under its purview. Accordingly, Teaching for Change worked with Macomb School District and the Mississippi Department of Education for 10 years to incorporate lessons on the civil rights movement and labor history in the curriculum. The stated intention, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, there we go. We've got an entire state.
Yeah, where he's getting encouraged. So then is the Howard Zinn's teaching on like civil rights the new commie version of what oh my gosh. How did I forget?
Saul
I have a
Alinsky?
dream guy.
MLK?
MLK. That MLK actually wanted violence and all of these things that he clearly denounced. Is that the teaching here? Because that's awful.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
me
graduated in 01 prior to September 11th. So much stuff was it's weird to sit there growing up in the 80s and 90s where it felt like we were really moving past racial issues.
Yeah. Oh, and
And
look,
then-
DR in chat. His 10th or 11th grade social studies teacher was adamant that he's your guy for history. Crazy. His DR is not even from the mainland, I don't think. Like that's some long stretching fingers this guy has. That's kind of what I was trying to look up earlier, was like who is publishing all of our history books that are used in schools. So like if it's like, oh, there's this guy who has this new like line on history.
Oh, that's
and all his books are the ones that are getting distributed. That's even more interesting.
So they talk, I mean, the old saying, all politics is local.
Mm-hmm.
But, we talk about federal judge appointments and everything. But apparently, like, who decides what textbooks get chosen is like this huge, like, rabbit hole sub-industry of, of politics. And
totally.
Because what are the textbooks going to? Or where are the textbooks going? To the schools for the kids. What are they going to be learning about? So
Well, and they're, I think in Washington at least, the state decides on the available textbooks, and then the local districts can vote on, like, the curriculum more specifically. But, like, the books that you have to pick from are all sort of state chosen. And it's like, that's kind of wide berth for, like, for me, and we may get to this after we finally finish this PragerU section, is like education. If you're going to give your kids to somebody else for them to teach your kids, the idea is that they are teaching what you want your kids to learn. Like you're like, these are the things that, like, if I had infinite time, I would be teaching them myself. I would be homeschooling them. I would be doing that. I don't. I want to work and get this career, provide for my family, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to delegate that job to you, the teachers and the school. And so, like, anything that goes past that initial school district, I feel like is kind of a weird, like, maybe general rules and, like, some sort of governing body to make sure that all the teachers are behaving and doing what they're supposed to do. But when it comes to, like, what's being taught, I feel like that really needs to be, like, district by district, and then, just have the classic big test to make sure everybody's good enough when they graduate.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, like, we
Big
have
test
standards of
even
learning.
sucks.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a thing outside of Virginia. I know that was an initiative started by our governor's wife back in the mid 90s. But I mean, basically what that has done is teachers know that they're going to be graded on how their students perform on that standardized test.
Yep.
And so all they do is teach, for the most part. I mean, there's teachers who go beyond that, but for the most part, all they do is teach on those standards of learning, because all that matters is they pass that test. It's not about, they don't teach about, hey, this is how you learn how to think for yourself, or this is how you learn extra stuff. And then, our district had to cut 2 weeks out of our kids' summer vacation because we were going to start earlier because the standards test comes out in May. And then after that test, the teachers don't teach anything. They're just basically said, we got nothing to do, so our kids just watch movies. So there's no reason for them to be here. So if you start, so they said, well, we'll start them 2 weeks earlier. So we'll get out 2 weeks later or 2 weeks earlier in the summer. That way they're not sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, maybe
which
maybe
to me
the
is
Fed
more of an
test,
indictment
yeah.
on the system than anything else.
It's like you're like, oh, I want all kids in America to have this base level of knowledge, but as soon as you set that base level, it's like setting a minimum wage, right? Like now that's all anybody makes, and once it's like past that, they're like, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna raise my wages unless I have to get people anymore, right?
And they still can't pass for the most part.
They still can't. Oof.
Well, they were talking.
That
like,
sounds like a Virginia problem.
Well, yeah, it is. It's not a my county problem. We're the only ones in the Richmond area who pass it with without any type of warning. And they did this thing. Richmond City School had this great feel-good story about how this one school or this one part of the district did so great in their SOLs. Inner city kids, showing academic promise. And it comes out that they cheated. And it was cheating. It wasn't the kids cheating. It was the kids basically being given the answers by the teachers and the faculty because they wanted to look better. And so they give the kids the answers, and then everybody looks like an idiot after that.
Yeah. That's bad. Don't cheat. Like if you can't,
better.
I'm sure that's not the only that's not the only city in United States that's got that kind of problem going on in there.
I also just hate the regurgitation system, right? Like, here's a fact now, tell it to me in 2 weeks. Here's another fact, tell it to me 2 weeks from now. Like, it doesn't, none of that ever feels like learning, Like, you go and you hang out with Grandpa, and he's showing you how to build a bench, and you're learning about, like, angles and stress points and all this kind of stuff. You learn so much doing this, like, fairly simple task that it blows my mind that all of education in America is sit in this box and hear a thing and then repeat the thing. Welcome, Veritax.
Hey, Veritax.
Yo.
I was debating whether to get on, but then you talked about the scoring, and I'm like, oh, I've got to reference Goodhart's law, which tells us that when you measure something and that measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure.
Ooh.
Which is basically what you were trying to say, Blaine, but in a more concise way.
Yeah, he said better.
He said it better than you, Blaine.
He did. He quoted the law to me.
But yeah, we focus so much on them trying to learn all these facts, but they don't understand the context well enough about why the facts were.
Mm-hmm.
Like math, for example. How does multiplication work? And my daughter didn't get it, and I was like, okay, here is how it actually works. When you have 5 times 5, what you're doing is doing 5 plus 5 5 times.
Exactly.
That's all it is. And once I showed her this multiple times, she didn't believe me. I had to do like 50 problems before she believed me. Mm-hmm. She's like, that's all multiplication is? It's just a faster way of doing add.
Yep.
But a lot of kids don't pick up on that subtle detail because they're being taught to just get the right answer because they take tests online and it's either a multiple choice or fill in a blank.
Yeah. The boomers,
my multiplication is so
good. The boomers are
good.
nodding with you, Veritax.
My multiplication as a kid was so good because when I got home from school, my mom made me watch Multiplication Rock every day. It was just basically every day. So that when I did my formulas, it was always one of the songs was going through my head. And I could actually do a test without a calculator faster than my classmates could do a math test with their calculators.
That is a skill that, like, I talk about it, right? You carry a calculator with you at all times now, so like there isn't like a need to like do some of these like more in-depth math problems that you can kind of track and stuff, but knowing just that quick add, that quick math is just such an important skill if you want to not spend all day doing stuff. Like today, I'm throwing around like a measuring tape, making sure that my lines are all right, and it's like, all right, I got 18 here, I'm doing 6 here, I need to go 40 across here, and then you're trying to like add and subtract and figure out like so that your everything works, and it's so much nicer to just be able to do that quickly rather than like pull my phone out, hit some buttons, try to squint because it's too bright and I can't see it off the glare. You know, it's important to still have that skill, even though we do have calculators with
well,
us.
especially now with Common Core. I mean, have you heard the Nate Bargatze stand-up on Common Core where he's like, I guess we needed new, I don't know why we need new math, and new math still has old math in it. So why don't you just use the old math?
Common Core is the biggest thing that I just don't understand how people have trouble with it. Like, old math gave you 2 numbers and told you to just kind of add them up and sort of memorize, like you can count up and then eventually you can memorize this, like this plus this equals this, and you just keep adding into your memory. But when you get into certain levels of math, you can create these sort of mini problems within the math problem so that you can do it quicker. Like if you know how to break 20 down into 2 10s, or maybe 28 into a 20 and an 8, and so now you can do those way faster. And that's how my brain worked doing math. Like when I was learning with my grandpa and I was learning with my dad and we were doing like problems and stuff, and like you were saying, Veritax, laying it out physically, like having like the blocks, you know, or Cheerios or whatever you're using as your thing, physically moving them around. And when you see like 13 Cheerios and 12 Cheerios and you're like, oh, how many Cheerios is this? And you turn them into a pile of 10, a pile of 10, and a pile of 5, like it just, your brain can like kind of add it way faster. And that's what Common Core is trying to do, is it's trying to teach kids in a way that is this sort of physical, move the numbers around so that you can do the math in a more simple way. But they don't understand that like very few people really conceptualize math in that way. Like, so it's really hard for parents to look at it and help their kids with their math problem because the math problem wants them to do all the steps of breaking up the math. Whereas like previous math problems were like, just give me the answer. You know, sometimes if it's complicated enough, they want you to show your work.
Oh, show your work, yeah.
But even like, but if you're doing times tables, like showing your work is like putting the 1 above and crossing out the, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's not like it's that crazy.
But it's still, you still end up doing old math in there. So why don't you just do the old math and leave out the extra steps? Because you conceptualize it in your head because you're visualizing shapes or patterns or whatever Rain Man steps you're taking to autism your way through the math problem.
And Common Core is just trying to teach the increased amount of autistic children that we have in the world.
We need more medication. Big Pharma's back in Common Core math.
They have to be.
They're they're making the frogs autistic.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though, is Common Core still teaches the classic math principles. It just also adds this extra layer of you can break up your problems, and it's so annoying that like this one little step they're adding in is for like, I would guess 20% of the population that kind of conceptualize math in this sort of like let me break the numbers up and around kind of way. Whereas like the old system, I knew lots of people that sucked at math going through high school, going through middle school. Like my whole life, I've known people that really suck at math. I don't think Common Core is going to help them be better at math. I think they just have trouble thinking.
If math is boring to you, Common Core math isn't going to make it less boring.
No, exactly. Until that math is dollars on a page, then maybe you'll pay attention.
But they don't teach that because, I mean, that you talk about like the practicality of learning and like, you know, we don't have home economics anymore. Shop classes are a thing of that. Technical, like small engine classes and stuff like that.
Actually, they do have shop classes, but they're not like the shop classes we had. It's not necessarily woodworking per se. My daughter had a class on like 3D design, and she had to design a birdhouse and figure out how it was going to look, and then she had to go build it. It's like there are more steps in this process now. I don't know if all schools have that yet.
Yeah, some districts have that, but you know, we were talking about 20 years ago.
How would you qualify your demographic?
County got rid of their shop program, and it's like, well, if you want to do it, you need to just go to another school district.
Wait, when you Veritax, when you without doxing yourself, how would you classify your city demographic?
That's interesting. We have two
Rural,
pretty large
middle
towns
class,
in our county.
Okay.
My particular town probably has more middle and lower class, I think. You find more upper class in the other town because it's right next to a certain very famous university.
Okay. Gotcha. So there's
all the
some
professors
money, but
live
it's
over there.
Still kind of rural though. Overall, it sounds like.
Well, they like to think it's rural. They like to say it's a small town, but I keep telling them as soon as they went past 5 stoplights, they stopped being a small town.
Okay. Yep.
My wife used to live there, and she said it's beautiful, but everybody is an asshole.
Nice. When they took my teach cert exam, you could hear people humming the Schoolhouse Rock preamble song. Oh man,
I could do that. Like I want to do like counting by threes. It's 3 is a magic number. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. You know, you just go up the list and just through the song, and once you get to that, you can go as far as you want to.
The hardest part about, I think, the math is for some of the kids, they think they just have to be able to write the number down, and they don't know that going through the process actually helps them, because when they come back to check their work, they can review what they did and then catch a mistake. But if you don't write out all the steps you did and you go back and look at it, you may not remember what you did, especially for kids that have certain neurodivergent, like ADHD, for example. You're not going to have a working memory when you come back from problem 10 to problem 1 to look at how you did it to check it. But if you have the work there, you can look at it and review it.
I am sitting here as proof of ADHD Rain Man. Okay, I got object permanence out my ass. I can remember what I did. I used to hate showing my work because it was like, I know that's the number. Why do I have to write all these extra steps? I did it in my head. Like, I get it. It's important to look.
Because that's how I do math. Because when you were talking about it, I was like, yeah, I get it that we do that.
Something neurodivergent. They're not stupid. You should know.
Serratus, yeah.
It's hard as a parent to identify what their actual issue is at times without seeing your child write the steps out. In fact, I gave my daughter some assignments over the summer. I'm a mean parent. I made her do math. But
was it at least tied to a birdhouse that you were building?
No, it was just some homeschool exercises I picked up. And I gave her like one folder every couple of days, and whenever it was done, I checked it. And the ones that were wrong, I would show her why it was wrong and ask her to go do it again on another sheet of paper. And what she was doing was she was miscounting when she was doing her multiplication. She would leave out like 1 row or 2 rows of the addition she was mapping out. Of course, you have the wrong number of rows, you get the wrong number.
Yeah. Okay, DR, I feel like it was more so taught or encouraged to only solve for X or get this value, but not how to get there and still needing to show work, but you don't know how to.
Long math.
And
oh my gosh.
And the kids are scared of the word algebra. The word algebra scares them to death. And I look at my daughter and I'm like, all it is you have a blank where you don't know what the number is supposed to be, but you have enough information to figure it out. How do you go about figuring it out? That's all it is. But because it calls it algebra, they're like, oh no, algebra.
I feel like you could make math more appealing to kids because kids are so materialistic generally, as a general rule. If you start doing stuff like, if you start putting materialistic themes in there, like with budgeting and what are kids into with money, if they had money. Right. And a teacher, this needs to be done on the teacher level. This is why, if you're a teacher, it's more than just, oh, I graduated from college. Oh, I'm board certified or whatever licenses you've gotten. It's more than that. It's teaching. It's understanding the kids that are coming through your classes and caring enough about them.
Here's how you teach math to the current generation. This doesn't just work for Asian people.
Steven, how the test result go?
I got an A in English.
Okay, we take an A
and an A in science.
No problem.
And I got a B in math.
Sorry, I didn't hear properly. What did you say?
I actually got a B and math.
Honey, come down now. You don't believe what Steven said. He said we got B in math. Some forget he's Asian. Uncle Roger. Don't believe what Steven said.
So he calls Uncle Roger on his iPad. Hey, yeah.
He said he's no good at math. I don't get it. I can't just like activate Asian power. It doesn't work like that. Because you're stupid. 10x squared plus 2x equal 9. Solve for x. So you move x to
Did
the
he
other
just
side.
do the Naruto
Okay, you
sign
order-
thing?
Yes, he did. He just did the Naruto hand signals.
He is hilarious. I love his content.
It's so good. All right.
Always ends the same way. Like the same one with learning to play piano, and he just
I can't
automatically
just play
starts
the piano.
playing the piano.
Just hit the keys. He's like, how do I know when? How do I know when? How do I know how long?
He got 12 years job experience. He's 9 years old because he has 4 jobs since he was 3.
You're offended by that? I'm Asian now. Yep. You order
10 bowls of rice squared plus 2 bowls. You have 9 left over. How much rice did you eat?
17.5 bowls. Why are you asking me that?
5 friends, 1 bubble tea.
I just love that. Why are you asking me that? 5 friends want bubble tea.
9 friends, 1 bubble tea. 1 left over for yourself. How many you buy?
11 bubble teas for $65.33 here at VV's. But if you go to the city, you'll have to add 3% value-added tax. That'll bring up to $69.90.
Oh my god! I could have done this all this time! Told you that, stupid.
That's how you teach people math.
How
is
do you
like-
square a liquid though?
Did you see
yeah.
the one the
Use
one
a
where he
cup.
did where the dads were comparing how great their kids were?
Oh yeah.
It wa-
My son, face of Beijing corn.
Basically, Gordon
It's the best meme he has.
he goes, ah, and then he looks and he goes, oh.
He like peeks in his coat, like pulls it out. Oh, he's scared by it.
Damn it, man. But I mean, to me,
But
make it
you have to-
interesting. Make it something that they can relate to. That's what you're supposed to be doing as a teacher.
Yeah. Make it money, make it land, make it building a thing, make it, anything.
Make it streaming. I mean, you could like
Oh,
YouTube. There are ways to do it. Plenty of things with time, all sorts of avenues. But it's easier just to say this is a 9 to 5 job, clock in, clock out. And I'm not saying that's for every teacher, but a lot of teachers do treat it like a job, and I know because, I grew up around
everything you do sometimes becomes a job at some point, right? Like you're
Yeah.
like, I gotta clock in. I'm tired. I don't want to do it.
Well,
So-
it's the same reason. Like when I joined the army, I joined the army because I had very idealistic, patriotic reasons for why I enlisted. I get in, I just assume everybody else did, and then I joined for the college money. Oh, I joined because I didn't have anything anywhere else to go. Oh, I joined for job experience. Oh, I joined for citizenship, and they don't all share the same idealistic, patriotic, core values I have. And so the same, and you could say the same thing for teachers. Not everybody gets in there because they love kids and they want to learn, they want to teach them, and they want to teach them in the best way they know possible. One of us is like, I like kids. Maybe I'll be a teacher. And then you get in and you're like, I hate kids, or all these parents are stupid. I'm gonna go have a bunch of kids and do it better, and then never come back to teaching.
Thoughts on requiring actual degree program for teachers?
I mean, we do in Hanover.
In your county, it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I went to, and my wife graduated from, in Virginia, the teaching school in Virginia. And, my mom growing up with my mom working at an elementary school, she said, if you graduated from Longwood, your application immediately went to the top. And a lot of teachers graduated from Longwood, but so you got a big stack from there. But you didn't find a whole lot there was a lot of hoops you got to jump through to become a teacher without a degree in education.
My wife was a teacher. She actually had some credits towards a graduate degree in special education, and the one thing she taught me was that she would take additional classes in the courses that she was teaching because she wanted to be good at them. But so much of what they have to do, and it's even gotten worse since she was in school, is just all the administrative overhead that we keep slamming on these teachers. And it just makes it worse and worse and worse for them. And they teach less and less, and they're just bean counters. They've become accountants.
They're putting on PragerU videos.
Well, so many, and I think this is something that Nick Recated says well, is the biggest problem is the administrators. There's so many administrators in schools that have no idea. Like, you can run into these people and you're like, I wouldn't give you a job managing McDonald's.
Oh man.
I wouldn't.
And that's the difference right there. My private school had 2 administrators that basically ran the school. They did everything. The principal and like the vice principal was always like, why are you here? What are you doing? Because anytime you needed something or anything like that, it was always the administrators taking care of everything. There was just 2 of them for a school. Let's see, it was probably 400 kids in the high school, so not a huge school, not like some of these other schools where 400 kids graduate in one class, but still 2 to 400 is, I think we can stretch that out if you're hiring the right person.
The funny thing, Blaine, is that we have added so much technology to schools. They don't even almost have to have notebooks in classes anymore. Everything is done on a Chromebook or an iPad. They have a website that they do stuff through. And I go look at the website as a parent, and I keep asking questions because I keep getting miscommunications about events or things that are going on. Like, you have all these administrators. Do you not have one person responsible to make sure it's up to date, the website?
That the calendar's got everything.
A principal who is no longer at the school that we currently go to. I think he had a health thing with a family member, and that's why he's taking time away. But he basically said he doesn't even trust what's on his website anymore. And what that tells you to stay to schools. We have websites that we're paying to keep up that offer almost no valuable to anybody. You can't even look up syllabi for some of the classes.
You can't even look up the high school football schedule on most of these places. Like, like places that you would go, like, what team are we playing tonight? What time? Where? And you go and you go, I can't find it. You know,
playing somebody, doing something.
They're playing the Ducks.
I do love that the technology is being incorporated into the class, because that's always been my thing. Is like, as we get more and more internet-based society, as technology starts to help us more and more, we get AI that can do things as well. We need to learn how to be using these tools the same way that we learn how to use chisels and wrenches back in the day.
Know your enemy.
Yeah, you. that you should be teaching kids how to research things. Like we like when I was in school and we were doing research papers. I remember doing research papers, getting physical books from the library, and then transitioning to being able to get the entire repository of the online research sphere, and how to find, locate, and verify papers while we were doing that. And like, those are important skills to learn how to find those sort of sources, more so than like, what did the source tell you?
Yeah. Well, the problem we have in that aspect is a lot of times the kids come in knowing more about the technology than the teachers do. And the teachers just don't know how to use it. And so now we've got...
I hacked my high school Wi-Fi.
And often the parents don't know.
No, I mean, like I got a note from my daughter's teacher, who my son had, and he walks my daughter to class every morning, and she goes, "Oh, you come in here," because he used to fix her computer all the time. "I'm having this problem with my email."
Oh,
my
yeah.
son just turned 10.
Yep.
Last year he fixed the problem the IT guy was sitting there at the computer, couldn't figure out, and he figured it out. It was just like, this guy's paid. Hire my son. I'll just pull him out of school now.
Yeah, exactly.
You go ahead and work.
Which ties into this whole PragerU thing. It's like, the educational system that we're creating is at such a level that a dude on the internet who, you know, Dennis Prager, love him or hate him, is creating all of these educational videos, as good or bad as each one may be, but they're good enough that an entire school district is like, yeah, you know what? What if we just taught what they're showing us? And they're like, you just go on YouTube and get that education. Why do we have a school?
Well, I think that's more political posturing than anything. But the thing I will say, because I'm not a fan of Dennis Prager, I don't trust him. But I will say, if you watch his videos, there's a lot of imagery. So if you're a visual learner, you can pick up a lot on what they're trying to teach you. Now we can hash out whether the accuracy is good or bad, but what they try to convey is done in a way that if you're a visual learner, you're like, oh wow, that makes sense. That puts that number of whatever we're discussing into context. I can conceptualize it better.
And like I would say, like Kyrgyzstan, in a nutshell, is sort of the opposite end of the aisle of the PragerU, doing the same thing, where it's this highly infographic video teaching you about one thing, and then as these little birds are flying around, and then they like, this is how much waste is generated from this, and here's how much waste is generated from these, and it like shows you physically on like a map where it is. Vsauce showing that the entire like world could live in Texas and everyone have 5 acres or something like that, and you're like, holy crap, the world is huge. And you visualize these things. Even someone who's not a visual learner, I'm sure, is learning more from that. And I would bet that if we had like an entire series of those like different learning styles tests, that we're more and more and more and more becoming visual learners with stuff.
The other part of this, which the PragerU videos are not going to help with, is we have classrooms that are increasingly becoming very difficult to manage the students because either the students are unruly or their parents don't respect anybody in the classroom who's doing the teaching. And so that filters through the kid. And so then you have kids, like my daughter who has trouble paying attention, distracted all the time because kids are yucking it up when a teacher's trying to actually lecture and the teacher's not saying no. Why? Well, we feel like we hurt them so bad when we were locked down and we made them all do school remote from home. So we're trying to be kind and not actually discipline. Like, no, you don't fix disciplinary problems by not disciplining. You get more bad discipline by not trying to correct it, because kids will learn after they see a couple kids that are getting called out for stuff because they won't want to get called out for it.
Yeah. Now, I will say the flip side of that is there's some dumbass teachers in the world. My 6th grade to 7th grade, I switched schools. And when we switched schools, they also, what we were learning sort of took a step back as well. So like my entire 7th grade math, I had already been through in 6th grade at my last school. And there were enough kids that could not understand the math teacher and what she was trying to portray that I started teaching after school, and I just did not respect that. Like it was the only class that my parents ever had like a negative parent-teacher conference with, because I did not respect her because she wasn't able to like teach anyone else, and here I was doing her job as a student in her class to help everybody else, just barely pass these tests because they were just trying to figure out everything else. I was like, yeah, there's some teachers though that just don't deserve respect. They don't command it, they don't deserve it. So
no,
but
I get it. You should respect your elders, but there's some dummies.
I've also noticed that a lot of kids in my daughter's class, and my daughter is guilty of this, they lay out everything they teach in a year, and all these skills kind of begin to build on one another, and later on you combine them. And so many of these kids are so focused on just getting the output for that unit or that week, and then they think they don't need to remember it, so they don't do anything to keep it up here. So when these big tests come later, it's a scramble to try and get them to relearn it all because, I didn't think I needed to know that. I thought, we were done. And I had to explain to her that, like, in both English and even in history, you have these events that happen, and then you have a reaction to that event, and then you have a reaction to the reaction. It's like, it's all interconnected. It all builds towards where we are now. And you have to be able to see how it connects. It's not just about, did you get the right answer today? And so I told her, I really don't care about the letter grade anymore. I want to know, are you learning how to put the connections together? And then if you're learning it, if you get a bad grade on a test, okay, but can you learn what you got wrong and then remember it better because you got it wrong, which is what I think education should be. They've started making it so you can do retakes on tests. I don't remember being able to retake tests when I was in school. So that seems to be helping a little bit.
Mistake.
It depends on the test, I would think. Like a final or something, like a midterm or something, you really mess that up. Maybe you got to like do extra classes to make up for that. We had that, but that might have been more the private school just trying to get its grades up so it looked better.
What was your grading point scale?
I mean, it was the 4.0.
No. Like, was it like 7 points between A and B, B and C, 10 points?
10 point. 10
points.
10. Yeah.
10 points was a mistake.
Why?
Because 7 is better. Hold on. Let me sigh and give my Serrano's opinion. Because the way I did it was better.
I mean, if you want to be 100% accurate, the top 2 in the bracket would be the plus, then the middle 5 would be the standard letter, and then the bottom 3 would be the 4 would be the
well, an A minus is the
minus.
same GPA as a A plus.
We were able to get 5s in a couple of the AP courses for some reason. I still don't understand that one.
Or honors classes, yeah.
It's for the folks. It's for the crap. What do you call it? Valedictorian nerds who want to compete over it, so they all try to overachieve and take as many advanced AP courses.
I hated that. I had one semester in high school that I had 8 classes in 7 periods, and I got a 5 on all 3 of the AP classes that I was in, and I still wasn't even close to being valedictorian in our class. It's some of those kids, man. They're just like, I am only doing school now. And you're like, okay, man, that's all you. Have fun, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's also important that in light of that we also make sure kids know it's okay to be kids and have fun and learn from other people through other social interactions. It's not just about book learning. Because then you get off to college and they don't know how social interactions work, and they may fall apart. I saw it happen to our salutatorian in the class I came up with. She got into drugs or somehow and got in the wrong group, and that was it. She had a guaranteed full ride scholarship and lost it because she got in the wrong group.
Oof.
Don't hang out with the goths.
I mean, the goths might have been the better group, depending on whether.
I don't know which group
unless
it
you're going
was.
for that goth girlfriend. Don't hang out with the stoners, the skateboarders.
Okay. I believe you can hang out with whoever you
But
want to hang out with.
when I was in
Skateboarders are
middle
the
school,
best.
it was a 10 scale for A, B, C, etc., and D. When I got to high school, it was 7 from A, and then D was 10, and then everything else was an F.
Ours was 90. I think this was it the whole way, but I can't remember exactly. But I remember middle school and high school, it was 93 to 100 was an A, 85 to 92 was B, and everything else was failure. I don't know. It was like 84 to 70 something. I guess 7 less than that. I don't have to do math anymore. I graduated.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm leaving.
All right. See ya.
Later.
See ya.
Not as much Fire Emblem. He doesn't want to hang out anymore. I am so glad.
And nothing of value was lost.
Michael's gonna play Armored Core with you. Well, why don't you play Armored Core with me?
Armored Emblem. No, because I told him to stay away because you and me are doing it.
Oh yeah.
Playing Armored Core, not anything else.
I know what
phrasing was off.
I know what you shippers are trying here. Was there anything else? I had one other thing. Since I saw this and it's semi school related, even though it's not an American school. I laughed when I saw this from Shoe on Head
videos.
A real newspaper that came out in Australia. How we stop this kid from becoming a monster. Call for DV lessons at all schools to address the menace of toxic masculinity.
Oh my god.
What the heck is a DV?
I mean, it's domestic violence in my lexicon. I don't know.
Oh, it's not digital videos?
Dude, that kid is already an
maybe
all-star.
it
Look
is.
at his shoes. They're shined.
Oh.
Dude, the kid is squared away.
I bet you they
something.
stole that from a catalog. It's probably, the copyright's probably owned by somebody else. If they find out, they might get in trouble.
They should have used that kid with the Gadsden flag.
That should have been, yeah. I mean, it's Australia. They would, they'd understand snakes. Like, it's dangerous. Dangerous snake kid. Let's see if I can find this actual article. The West Australian. This is your...
It's a fake article coming from a fake country.
I don't remember the YouTuber, but there was
Bethany
a lady.
Hyatt wrote it.
She was talking about how there's these group of parents that are intentionally trying to raise their sons so that they don't become toxic masculine by not doing all the things they thought were done wrong. But what they don't realize is all the things that they're doing are actually going to drive them to be even more toxic masculine because
is
they're
it
not
the
being
chick
treated
that
right.
has the tattoos on her neck?
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, she's great when she like replies to some of these like anti-masculine moms that are like, I'm helping, and it's like, no, you're not. Yeah, there's so many of those are so funny, and it's like you teach your kid to not do those things the same way we have for 1,000 years by teaching him to respect other people.
Yeah, the problem was never manners. When we talk about like in the old days, it's like, yeah, people were beating their wives all over the place. The problem wasn't the fact that we were teaching manners. The problem was we were kind of teaching ourselves to ignore it. And like, well, that's family's problem, as opposed to maybe I should do something about it. Maybe I should talk to this guy and tell him, hey, saw you dragging your wife behind the house the other day by her hair, and you had a garden hose with you that you were probably going to hit her with it. Could you just like not do that?
There it is. Read the article. Found it. All right, here we are. Oh, I don't subscribe. Dang you. Well,
Nothing
I
of
don't
value
subscribe
was
for the
lost.
article, so we can at least read the stories that they created.
Look at
the
that
relentless
kid.
It is, yeah. It's like
They
my
took out
boy.
the shine shoes because they didn't want you to know how squared away he was.
The relentless
collar,
scourge of domestic. The thing that gets me is the 2 buttons on this polo.
That collar is huge.
They're so tiny compared to how wide it is.
Exactly.
The relentless scourge of domestic violence in Washington, WA, West Australia, maybe, has led to many suggestions for solutions. Experts that, with actual lived experience, claim the most promising chance at ending the crisis lies within our schools. I don't care about your lived experience unless it's day after day producing something and you want to tell me how to produce that thing. You're like, oh, I got punched once. Let me teach you how to stop punching people. I don't think that works. I don't think you know how to do that.
Let's say it's actual day after day lived experience. What if you're an outlier? What if you're an expert on something that's an outlier? Just because you went through it doesn't mean it's going on everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to use the zebra analogy, but do they have zebras in Australia? It might actually be a zebra. Or that's Africa.
They must have a zebra somewhere. Somebody wants to shoot it.
Respectful relationships. That sounds like a dog whistle phrase if I've ever seen one.
It's already run in dozens of WA's public schools, but calls are growing for it to be rolled out across all the state's educational institutions. So we go from learning that PragerU is a better teacher than Oklahoma to how bad could it be if we lived in fake Australia. Respectful relationships.
Yeah. How bad is PragerU, but how much of an improvement is PragerU over the current curriculum?
And that's really right? How much of an improvement it is. Not that it's an improvement. This is how much of an improvement it is, and yet still not being good enough, probably.
Jim, Australia named their states after how they divided up in the risk board. Western and Eastern.
What is respectful relationship? Developing positive and respectful relationships is an important part of a student's emotional and social development. The relationships in a student's life, including those with friends, families, and peers, can influence their physical health, promote self-esteem, and assist in developing a sense of belonging.
Yeah, like those stupid lip piercings in that picture.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, my gosh. What do you think? You're the lead singer for Disturbed? Golly.
Every time I see a lip piercing, do you not think back to, was it an old SNL or something where they're like, oh, my lip piercing got stuck on your tongue piercing? I don't. Maybe it's a Simpsons joke, but that's every time I see those snake bite things. That's all I can think about. Teaching students about positive and respectful relationships encourages them to reflect on their current relationships and supports them as they form new ones. Creating a culture of respect in the school environment requires that students understand their rights and responsibilities. You're a student. You don't have rights.
Well, technically in the U.S. they do, but they are limited, and they might be restricted from a state-to-state basis.
Oh, my goodness.
I remember something in a handbook that I had to read growing up.
Rights of your student?
Yeah.
Respectfully, why are you so weird? You ask the weird kid in class. Respectfully. Why are you like this? Why do you eat glue?
It's like you're playing D&D. I walk up and respectfully ask him, what the fuck?
Roll for charisma?
Yeah, exactly. That's that meme that's like the, hey, you want to go out for drinks? And the one, she's like, yeah. And the other one is like, I'm calling HR. That they failed the roll for charisma there. Tax deductible man is the least shit opinion. Oh, is Dennis Prager tax deductible man? Is this deep lore on Dennis Prager?
I don't know. It's Jim in here talking.
This sounds dumb. How did you guys learn? What like?
He's gonna respectfully tell you not to show up to school tomorrow.
I'm like, I feel like half of the Nick Jr. programs teach you this thing before you're even in kindergarten.
And here's where it is. By directly discussing issues such as gender stereotypes, abusive behavior, and discrimination, students can explore a range of qualities and characteristics that promote and develop empathy, resilience, and inclusivity.
It will never develop resilience.
Yeah. Do you think if a teacher taught you not to bully, you would be like, you know what? I'm not going to bully. I've heard that modern bullies are like super mean. Like they pretend to be friends.
It's more social media driven, I think. It's more verbal than it is, I'm going to beat you up after school, because now, zero tolerance, you're going to get kicked out of school.
Yeah,
that's right.
Like I had a pretty low tolerance.
Noggin was the beast back in the day.
Noggin on Nickelodeon or something?
Yeah, they had a lot of Nick Jr. shows and some other shows that may have been on like public television at one point, and they would show them.
Oh yeah, DR is correct. The real bullies are the cry bullies. That's the real epidemic in bullying right now. Is you need to agree with me or else.
You need to do what I say, or then they'll say, well, I asked him to help me with this, and he got mad, and he bullied me.
He hates me.
Such a deep form of manipulation.
Racist, or he's a homophobe.
Yeah.
Or he's a...
Kids can be extremely manipulative. They can.
Ugh, that's such a
misogyny.
Yes, Moose and Z.
Dennis Prager. One principle that all those on the left hold is that taxes constitute more than an economic issue. They are first and foremost a moral one. Economists on the left may argue for higher taxes on economic grounds, but they and we know that at the bottom, higher taxes, especially taxing the rich, is what they believe morality demands.
That's you, Blaine.
That's a long-ass paper.
But the interesting thing about that responsible relationship thing, they point out all the differences. So now, if they were completely clueless about the differences, oh my, I didn't realize Sally was different than me. I didn't realize that Job was actually from a really rough family, and now it's in their head and it's stuck. And now we expect them to just not allow that to infect them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how you teach about it without making it more obvious about the differences, so it's easier to single people out who may look really, really more different than everybody else. But I feel like we've been doing this for at least 30 years. It's not a new thing.
And I think kids learn all that kind of stuff naturally. Like I just watched a short the other day that was it's this guy from like I think he's in Louisiana or something, and he's always like super up close to the camera, black guy, and he'll react to a video, and the video is like this guy, and it's like when you go to your rich friend's house, and the guy's like looking at the trash can, like it's one of those like hinge lid trash cans, and he's like shocked by it, and he's like, yeah, I remember growing up and realizing how poor we were because I'd go over to my rich friend's house and they'd have like a chocolate fountain in the front of their foyer. And they were like, oh, yeah, you impressed with the chocolate fountain? And I'd be like, no, man, you got stairs. And like kids learn that like there's these discrepancies between the experiences of themselves and everyone around them by experiencing it. I don't know that you have to be like, all right, now Billy has more money than you, which means he has more stuff, which means that he comes from a more privileged background, which means that you're less privileged, which means that like the class needs to help you to make sure that you don't feel bad about the fact that you don't have as many Legos as Billy. Like I don't think that helps a kid. I think he just needs to make friends with the guy so that he can play with those Legos. Like
oh yeah, useful. Well that was so when Game Boy came out, both of my a couple of my cousins, my uncle's oldest son and my aunt's oldest son, we were down at my grandma's house playing. They had Game Boys and I didn't. And we were on the way home from there, and I was like, I wanted a Game Boy. And my parents said no. And I said, but, my cousins have them. And he goes, your cousin's parents are divorced.
Do you want a Game Boy or your parents together? All right.
Like that's basically it's like they compete for affection, and we don't have to because we're together. We're a united front.
One of us isn't the good parent. Like we're not playing these games.
There's no good cop, bad cop. It's just bad cop, bad cop.
And even without going to a kid's house, like in my day, it was like everyone who brought their Game Boys to school so they could trade Pokemon in the bathroom. Like I'm sure now it's like, oh,
cigarettes.
Yep. We still had like the little vending machine in the bathroom too. That was the weirdest part. There was one bathroom in our school that had like a cigarette vending machine. It was never full of anything. We snuck in a couple times, but
I remember in elementary school trading baseball cards.
Yes.
Dad getting really upset that I didn't like the Cincinnati Reds because we lived closer to Baltimore at the time. So I had no problem
I'm already angry with you now,
my really good Pete Rose card because I had no idea who Pete Rose was at like 7.
You're a horrible human being now, Veritags.
He's grown. He's grown since 7. He's learned.
I have a better appreciation of them as a fan base now than I did then. But anyhow.
Yeah, it's all
stuff like that would happen all the time, and then parents come in and would have to like figure out how to reverse the transaction that had just taken place. Well, which ones did you give, and which ones did they give? And I'm like, I didn't care.
Jebinir, how old are you? Are you 16? Bakugans in school?
Yeah, he is.
Bakugan?
When I was in school,
he's the cool zoomer.
when I was in school, it was the original Ninja Turtle action figures that we were getting taken by our teachers.
I will tell you what
tech decks.
I'll tell you what put the fear of God in you though is if you ever have a daughter and she ends up being popular at all. And then she comes home and like, I don't know what to do. Blah blah. Jimmy really really likes me. He keeps saying he wants me to marry him, and he hands me this piece of jewelry, and I feel uncomfortable accepting it. And I look at it and like, that looks like an actual engagement ring. Let's find the mother and find out where that came from. He stole his grandmother's wedding ring.
Pawn that
Gave
thing.
gave it to my daughter.
It's mine now.
So I had to tell her,
we don't do Indian trades in these parts.
We're allowed to be friends, but it is far too soon to be worrying about marriage. Let's see if we like each other 10 years down the road, and then we can think about it.
That's hilarious. That is terrifying. Me and Stu were in the same town. We have such similar paths.
Good old town in Mechanicsville.
Now I eventually
Dama's DR on the island over here playing with the hammer
did
toy.
get an NES and a Game Boy, but I don't remember playing them quite as much because I was more outdoorsy.
I was both, Blaine. I was both of them.
You're both of them?
But what happened at our family when somebody had one of those cool consoles and wouldn't let anybody else play, whether it was a Game Boy or whatever, some uncle would come in and say, all right, you guys are supposed to be spending time together. And if you ain't sharing, then that's going to go off, and I'm going to pull out the board games, and we're going to play some board games. Because the point was to get them to socialize with family. At least
nobody wants to play board games because he would never grab Battle Dome. He always grabbed Monopoly.
It was easier for us because my grandmother had a place on the Rappahannock River, like the patio, and then beach, and then river, and so we were either swimming in the river or tubing in the river, and I mean it was all like, it was stuff we wanted to do more than we wanted to play video games. But once we were done swimming, we would go in and play video games.
Oh, of course.
Because that was, but we played so much that you would be watching and just fall asleep. It's like you wanted to be the first one to get to the console because everybody else is gonna pass out because being tired, so you can get extra time on the console.
Oh man, we during the school year, time on the console equated to time reading books. You read a book, they got you an hour on a console. I read so many books. I found all the smallest books I could and just burned through books so that I could have more time on the SNES and the N64.
I don't remember playing games quite as much once I got into high school because I was involved in so many extracurricular activities. Running, track and field, cross country, marching bands, scouts, youth group, and I'm sure I'm missing some activities because there were other clubs I was a part of. So when I'd come home, it's basically eat dinner, do a little bit of homework, and go to bed.
Not me.
I barely get an hour of television.
I had no friends, and
that was Xbox 360 time. That was all gaming every day. I didn't do homework. I did homework like in the 15 minutes before class started. Like that was when I did all my homework because I was just spent all my time gaming. I remember playing
Xbox 360.
Yeah.
When did you graduate?
The white one. I graduated in 2009.
Oh. I thought you were older than that.
No. It's weird when you put it in console perspective. I think if you look at like numbers wise, right? Like I'm 33, so.
Jiminy, I was just like Serranos. I didn't get invited to parties. Now I have friends. I went into the army and got confidence in myself and realized maybe I shouldn't run my mouth all the time.
He's shaming him to try to help. That's where Stu's coming from.
Serranos is dumb.
Your uncle pulling out Monopoly was preparing you for 08. Consoles will age you very badly. Don't use it. Do they?
I remember I was old enough that I wanted to play Pokemon, but I was too afraid to go to the store and buy it because my age group would frown upon it.
It was a little bit of a kid's game at that point.
It was a kid's game.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about what? 98, 99. I was in high school. High schoolers didn't play Pokemon.
No, I was elementary.
But your age, yeah,
I was right where it is. I was the age that was banning Pokemon in the class because kids were trading cards and those trades were going poorly, we'll say, and it was becoming an actual problem for the entire school.
Just like the baseball card analogy, except with Pokemon's basically.
Yeah, and the school's like, no, no Pokemon.
See, history repeats. Just it rhymes and has variation.
Yeah, and they got to use the Christian school, and they evolve, and you're like, it's not like evolution as it's taught. It's more like a metamorphosis, and they're like, stop sophizing here, kid. You're not getting your Pokemon. I'm like, damn it.
Oh man, the one that really started throwing people, the shoes that had wheels on the back of them.
Heelys.
The Heelys, yeah.
Yep.
I remember my mom telling me about that. She goes, that lasted about 2 days before an email went out district wide. Do not send your kids to school with these shoes. They're not allowed. I
had the Payless brand Heely, and that thing was a death trap because they unlike the Heely where it was just a heel in the back, the Payless Airwalk brand one, where it was cheaper, also had 2 buttons on the side that you would kick your feet together and it would deploy the wheels on like spring-loaded things. And they weren't exactly designed to support anything other than just like looking cool. They were not good.
So I'll give you another one.
My comp for that was, you remember they had the Nike pumps, right?
Oh yeah.
You pump. So my parents were not spending the money for those.
Were they Nike or were they Reebok?
Reeboks, you're right. It was Reebok. My parents got me the Converse, whatever the cheaper brand was, and it had a logo that looked like the pump, and they're like, it's just as good. And I went, it's not, but they're like, no, trust me, it is. Okay, I trust you. Got the school. It's not. Everybody's like, you got poor kid's shoes.
Look at him. He can't even pump his pump handle.
I used to have to get my shoes at Gabriel Brothers, so I can't really talk.
Gabriel Brothers? Is that like
what even that is that?
Big and tall shoes, or what are we talking here?
They get a lot of what I would call overstock that, gets put together, and sometimes there's like a stain on a shirt or a stain on a shoe because of something that happened during manufacturing, and they can't.
Oh yeah,
they can't sell them at a regular store, but it's still a good shirt. It's still a good pair of shoes, and nobody's worn them.
Yeah,
oh, it's kind of like Marshalls.
You'll get them for like $20.
Heck yeah, I'm all about that deal. Because it's like, shoes are that weird thing where like, oh, the color was wrong, and now that shoe is like, oh, that's a $1,000 shoe now. You're like, why? It was wrong. They only sold them at this one like discount store, and if you knew, you knew, but if you didn't, now you're screwed. And you're like, well, it's a good thing I don't want your shoes. I don't know. You might find a gold mine there.
You got shamed into doing
the one thing I remember that we had to take away. You remember the original fidget spinner craze?
Yeah, the little 3 thing.
And some of them were really good, but there were a ton of knockoffs that eventually came in, and my kids ended up getting a couple of the knockoffs, and I didn't realize them right away. And then later, all these videos of these kids who had gotten their faces mangled because the grommets in them had broken loose and flown off into the kid's face. Traumatized me so much, so I started looking up, well, are my kids' fidget spinners one of the ones that aren't? And of course they weren't, so I had to take them away, and they were all so upset. And I'm like, look, it's not that I don't want you to have a fidget spinner. I just don't know how to find one that I know is not going to potentially fail and hurt you.
So
let's find something
I can help
else.
you with this one, because I was at the gun shop when fidget spinners were getting popular, so we got to use all of their tools. And you chalk up a fidget spinner and a lathe and see how fast you get it going. Because the air compressor really got it cooking, but it was like, I think we can get it going faster. That was fun. We weren't allowed in the gunsmith's tools for a while after that.
Should have made YouTube videos.
We tried. That was back during like the FPS Russia days when he was getting like arrested and stopped making videos. But I don't know, we got a couple good ones. That one of the suppressor falling apart still gets passed around. People don't like believe it or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it exploded. They think we set it up, and it's like,
all right,
no.
easy before we get into Fed posting territory.
Are we? Who's gonna Fed post?
You.
All right, Jemmy, no Fed posting tonight, okay? Any
he's
final thoughts?
he's already typing it up because I've already started. I can't stop. Might as well post it.
Gotta hit enter. Any final thoughts on education for now with PragerU specifically?
I think the approach that you're suggesting, Blaine, is what we need to be asking every candidate who's running for school board, all the way up to president. When they talk about these things that are going on in schools, we need them to be detailed about specific things they're concerned about, so we can dig in our own local areas and find out, is it actually a problem or not?
Mm-hmm.
If it is, then we spend energy on it. If it's not, then we find something else. I feel like too often these things are happening, and then it catches storm and it becomes a great big boogeyman to chase. And later you look at it and you realize what was only happening in like 5 districts in California, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or
it gets dismissed as like, oh, the last one was a boogeyman, and it actually is a problem.
Yeah. So you don't want to get on the next boogeyman bandwagon, and so you ignore something, and it ends up being really bad.
Yeah.
We need information, and this is one thing that I really disliked about the Republican debate that we saw. There was too much talking about personalities and not issues, and that has bugged me for about 15 years. I want to hear about issues. I don't want to hear about whether you like X candidate or Y candidate, or if you think they would be a good president. I don't care what you think of the other candidates. I care about what you think about issues and how you're going to govern.
Or if this song speaks to Americans, and how are you going to speak to Americans? Yeah.
It's a good song.
I like some of his earlier work, actually. Were you here? We found he started listing off some of his lyrics from another song he wrote, and they're like really well done lyrics. I'm like, damn, why couldn't that one go viral?
Didn't have a good melody to it, maybe.
Probably not.
That's what the moderator should have said. He goes, "Oh, you're a fan of Oliver Anthony? Name every song."
There you go. How about you, Stu? How's school in your neck of the woods? Because you both also have children in schools.
Yeah, we're going to be pulling our kids out after elementary school. We're going to be putting them in private Christian school. And I mean, that's just the direction we think that's going to be best. And it's not just going to be the curriculum. It's also the smaller classroom size and everything. We have the means and the ability to do it. We might as well take advantage of it. I mean, in my opinion on this is we really do need to make, I mean, I'm not even sure if I agree with state level educational directives.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely with the Department of Education, I think we've become too reliant on some massive federal entity to decide what's best for us, how best to raise our kids. And that's reliant on whoever you've got, whatever administration you've got, whether it's Republican or a Democrat. Well, you know, if I'm a Republican, I shouldn't have to deal with, my kids shouldn't have to deal with consequences on what they're learning based off of who wins an election at a national level. So, I mean, I really do think it needs to be like county, township, city, district decisions on how, on what curriculum's taught, how it's taught. And that gives you more of a reason to say, hey, I don't like this. Maybe I do need to move across town or, you know, to another state, just because, you know, I need to find a place for my kids to be educated the way I want, or homeschool them, or private school them.
Time and means, of course, right? Just checking because I was thinking of it when you were saying that. Arizona, Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Ohio, and South Carolina offer a tax credit for private school, and Indiana, Louisiana, and Wisconsin offer deductions for private education expenses, which is, it's a step, but you know, there's definitely something when you're paying property taxes that pay for the school, and then you're paying for a school like that. That's That's too much paying for education that you're upset
I'm
with.
surprised
right?
you're not a fan of that, Blaine. It's just more taxes.
Again, the taxes could be $1.
They just need to be there.
They just need to exist. I prefer like a VAT tax, like some kind of like we just tax like movement of goods, but you know we just need a tax that makes the dollar worth something. So,
what about Herman Cain's 999 plan?
What is that, like 9% for?
I can't remember, but I just remember seeing it. I was like, this man's never going to get elected because he wants to simplify the tax code.
Is it better than Huckabee's fair tax?
I don't.
Nothing will be better than Huckabee's fair tax, but Herman Cain at least will go parachuting on Tuesday.
R.I.P. in peace.
Wait, he died?
Yeah, he died during the COVID epidemic.
Ooh. NC2 does credit. Yeah, that's a good step. That's a very good step. Because you're literally not, like, it's a very specific thing. It's like, here is a % of your property tax that goes to local schools, and then you're saying, I'm paying this school to teach my kid instead. So your kid is not a drain on that school system. They're not utilizing that school system. It's an entire thing that just like isn't being tied to anything.
It's controversial though, because I know in some states, West Virginia, I hear a lot of the politics out of it. They're so worried that if they pull money and give it to people to go to private schools, that the public schools are just going to fall apart because there are a lot of bad public schools. And I'm just like, I feel like they need some sort of minimum that they're going to fund the public schools, even though they provide the private. And that may mean taxes go up. At least until you get enough private schools to where you actually have competition and then can allow some of them to die because there are alternatives. The problem is in rural areas, there are no alternatives. The next school is either the next county over or it's an hour drive.
Oh, they have that same thing in Japan. This town, we had a house guest that stayed with us from the Kyoto area, because Renton has a sister city over in Hyogo there. And we went and visited them, and they live in a town of like 20 houses, 11 of which have people in them, and they have the school that like, it's got to be a 50-minute drive for some of the kids based on where she was saying they're coming from. And that schoolhouse does everything. It is the elementary, the middle, the high school, and it just, they all show up there and do their studies because they just don't have, like, there's some of these towns where there's literally 10 families. What are you going to do with that? So it's like there are solutions that would be pretty simple to do where I am, because there's so many houses and so many property taxes that they can take care of the schools, even if, like, oh no, they're not going to get, like, they're building a brand new elementary school just down the way, right? Like we have the funding to say, you know what, we're gonna lower this for a little bit to help these people out. But there are people in areas like you're saying where it's like you stop funding the public school, hopefully the private school finds a way to become the public school, or maybe the public school steps it up and is like, hey, we're losing people, we got to be competitive in this market. I don't know exactly how that would play out, but yeah, it would be rough at first for sure.
I will also say that, just full disclosure, our first child, my son, we homeschooled him up until 9th grade. The only reason we stopped was when my wife got seriously hurt and disabled. I could tell she was needing to focus on recovery and would not be able to focus on being a day-to-day teacher.
Right.
And I had not been equipped to pick up that role. But when we tried putting him in schools at that point, we had issues with an online learning program through a particular university. He did really well for a year in the high school. And then the second year, something just, the wheels just came off him. So we tried to homeschool, and we ended up just going and letting him get a test for the GED, and he was able to get it.
Right.
But the materials to homeschool, at least until you get to high school, they're not that expensive. They're only a few $100s for some of these textbooks that come with workbooks, and all you got to do is go through and check them, make sure the work is, and then you can find supplemental stuff online, and it's not that expensive. The expense is the time spent with kids, and if you're a 2-income family where each of you has a job, that's that's a non-starter.
Yep. Yeah. Each of you have a job. Grandma's not nearby. You know, the whole thing just sort of kind of collapses on that. It's like obviously waifu and I, we don't have kids yet, but like my nieces and nephews, like I was saying, I do some work on the car. I send out a text to my cousins. I'm like, hey, who needs a lesson in mechanics today? And they'll bring a kid by and we'll do some shop class with them. All kinds of stuff like that, because like, why not, right? You can like take a kid's education, and like some of my favorite things that I remember from school is we had this one teacher that he had a property way up north in like Edmonds, which has a really good connection to the sound. And so in that class, we had this giant 150-gallon tank that we raised salmon in. So we started them from eggs all the way until they were fry, and then we took them up to that property and we'd release them. And so the entire school year's science was learning about the life cycle of this salmon that we were growing, and it was so informative, so cool, so just it's awesome. And you learn all this biology about how the yolk sacs are attached and all that kind of stuff, and it's really cool getting that like hands-on thing on top of stuff. So anytime I can, I try to help out my my nieces and nephews get a little bit of that hands-on learning.
Yeah, we actually added it wasn't really a school program, but there was this thing called, I think, Tinker Crate, where you get a box that has a project of something that you have to build, and that becomes your science project for the week until it's done. And then the next one comes, and so you get to learn about all kinds of different things just by learning and following the instructions on building these things.
Yeah, I think one of those science channels that does like I cut a dishwasher in half, or a clothes washer in half to show you how it works. I think one of them was touting that as a thing they did with their kids, and was like, that's really fun. Back in my day, it was an electronics learning lab, and you just got this little like breadboard with power, and you're like poking wires around until stuff happened.
The media lab.
The media lab? Is that what yours was?
Playing actual Oregon Trail.
There you go.
All right, it's time for me to go night-night.
All right.
Yeah, I need to go
too. Have a good one, Vertex. Great conversation. Love talking with you guys.
Yes, sir.
Hey, glad I can contribute.
See you, chat. See you guys.
See you. Alrighty. Perfect timing. Wonderful chat, everybody. Blaine's Political Corner is now closed. Comp hi, everybody. Let's play some robot game. I am only going to play robot games, so I'm going to do this. We're gonna do a full screen, and it behaves with the Alt Shift. Oh, look who it is. Welcome. How are you doing?
You're playing game now.
Yeah, I'm playing game now.
I'm excited to see what you do with your Barbie doll.
With my Barbie doll? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, I got this annoying thing though that my my output is different. How do I update this? I think I need to change my 4K capture utility so that it gets viewed differently.
I think people are saying they got stuck on the tester AC mech, so I don't know. Or maybe it was something different. I didn't actually pay attention to any discourse.
Oh yeah. Okay, the video input 2160 as it should be. I'm gonna up that. Let's apply. Oh no, that's recording and stuff. Okay. Why won't you let me change my screen resolution greater than 1920? I don't understand. Auto detect? No. Don't auto detect. Click, click. Clack, clack. Whackity whack, whack. I don't know, maybe Google will tell me? Google.
No, this is pretty easy. Can't be this one. Finish off with the missiles.
HDR fixed, everything grayed out. Oh, I think this is me. Okay.
Boom.
Windows I to open your settings. Okay. That's a shortcut I've never needed to use. Go to display. My display. I can set it to use HDR. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting color it has now. But it's 2160. Why can't I? Can you give me 2160, please? All right, let's do a quick quit here. And just turn it back on. Armored Core. Launching. Playing AC6 without me. Top 10 anime betrayals. You know I was playing AC6 today? You could play here. I figured I was just doing like tutorial stuff. Like there wouldn't be any real...
Poor Sue just has to go to bed.
Snore, snore, snore. Oh, maybe it's in my Steam settings. Hold on, let me open that up.
For the resolution?
Yeah. You know, sometimes you set like the launch page and all that. Ugh, I gotta turn this off though. I gotta turn off my the Windows HDR settings are kind of gross actually. Although I found out my monitor. Oh, that looks way better. Okay, no idea why it suddenly works, but I can even do a windowed view now. Okay, system, graphics settings. Wait, really? How are you still 1080? How is it full size now? Super weird. Okay.
Not working out.
Well, I mean, it is working out, but I just don't know why. Oh, great.
That's not working
at all.
That's why you gotta test before you play it.
Hold on. It's this stupid 4K utility. It always freaks out. Let's see. I want to do... Change it. And then change it. Still cranky? Okay. Hold on. You're sleepy like Biden. It happens to the best of us. I mean, the 4K utility's still running. It isn't running. Nope. Does it see this? No, okay, the whole thing is bunk now. Great. Great! That's perfect! Damn, didn't see it. I think Hirohei... Oh, Hirohei did a video like I break his controller because he couldn't beat the first boss. It has been a long time since I have played a, Oh, there it is in the background. Get out of here. Nobody wants you. There we go. Fixed that part of it. Now let's get this part working. Friggin', we're doing live. We're doing it live. Yeah, been a while. Been a while since I've played Armored Core the game. I remember
I've literally never played it.
Oh yeah, it's being slightly too small again.
That looks alright, honestly.
It's good enough, I'd say. So we're not gonna play around with it anymore. I just need to double check that I'm still 120. Okay. Good. There we go. Okay, just brightness until the image on the left is barely visible. Left needs to be barely visible. Okay, max brightness it is. Does that
and mine is just like substantially brighter than yours.
I have a very...
My screen is far brighter than yours.
That is the biggest complaint about the Asus TUF monitors, is they are not super bright.
Yeah, no, that's why I balanced out all the specs when I was looking for a monitor. And that's why I settled on this one.
Hardcore.
Good brightness. Good brightness.
Hardcore only. I'm gonna do Japan only. Enter a pilot name. That's me. Plainstorm.
Why do you want to do Japan only?
I didn't. I was joking that that's the hardcore only way.
Yeah, just play in Japanese, then you can know what's going on.
You did play Robotech Invasion on the PS2? I played Robotech on the GameCube.
We're close to Rubicon. Wake the dog up.
It's been many moons, but I'm very excited for this.
Verified. Activating cerebral coral control device.
And by the time I was playing Armored Core, it was already like, just get a flyer and a sword and you win. And so we knew all the little cheats and tweaks to how to build your stuff so that you basically couldn't lose.
Time to get to work, 621.
I guess people were having trouble with the first, like literally the tutorial boss.
Yeah, I've heard the helicopter is apparently a tutorial boss that people have trouble with, but that's the only one I've run into.
Did you play it?
What?
Did you play it at all? Yeah, or is it? Yeah.
No. This is you're watching me watch it for the first time ever. I'm trying to get my. It's been a while since I've had to get my keyboard in the gaming position.
Yeah.
The WASD.
I guess the one thing though is the fact that it is more like Dark Souls than it was Armored Core before.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's what people say.
That's what people say.
That's what the people say, you know? That's what the people say.
I don't know. I'll be the judge of that. Armored Core before was... Like, the Dark Souls consistency is that death is meaningful. That losing is actually part of the game.
I'm talking... people were saying mechanically the way it plays is the same as it was before.
Gotcha. You're staying for first boss, and I'm placing bets on how many attempts for Blaine? Okay, got it.
Our third try, yeah.
What's your over-under on that?
2.5, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna put it low. You have a very, very high bar to clear.
Off target, but within permissible range. There's a catapult ahead. Use it to close the gap.
Okay, I'm gonna turn up the voice audio here.
Oh, you can sell weapons for the exact same price you buy them. That's actually pretty nice.
Oh, really? That's super nifty. System, sound. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna turn music down. Oh, I gotta click.
Yeah, that definitely makes it a little bit easier to customize stuff then.
Okay, I'll turn music volume down a little bit. Okay, so here we are. Movement, WASD. I've also never played a Dark Souls on keyboard.
Oh yeah, you don't have a controller hooked up? I'm using a controller.
No. I'm gonna try keyboard first.
I think this is probably going to be a little bit nicer with keyboards, so you can just flick around. Maybe I'll try that myself too, just see how I like it.
Hops, okay. Which one's my? Okay.
Yeah, you're just going up.
Long one in the middle. Interesting. Oh, this is the Dark Souls feel about it. Is like when I'm clicking stuff, it like takes that full. It'll do a quick turn, but if you're going like in a round and then you hit a direction, it'll continue the that full circle. So if I go down left, it does like a semicircle. Okay. EN consumption. Some actions consume energy and are depleted when it replenishes rapidly when grounded. Got it. 57 meters. Cool. Interesting. There's a little bit of a stop there. Okay, targeting controls. Reticle automatically targets on-screen enemies. When there are multiple enemies, the enemy closest to the center of the screen will be prioritized. Move the camera to change priority target. Okay. There's one. Hold right-click to rapid-fire right-hand weapon. Where's my ammo for my right hand? I'm going to say that's
bottom right.
RA or RB?
It should be the RA. The top one is your right bumper. Because it's made for control, right? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right bumper is like your shoulder weapon.
Okay, guard mechs down. Are they? Do we have collectibles here? No. Shift is my sprinty boy. Good. Target assistance on off. Target assistance keeps your AC oriented towards the target. Okay, that is very Dark Souls. Just having a camera lock.
Yeah.
Interesting the way it flicks with the target lock.
Yeah, because they'll do it once it gets inside your range and when you hover over it.
And it looks like you can kind of flick back and forth. Hold E, RSW, multi-log attack. The missile launcher equipped to the right shoulder of the AC is capable multi-log attack, which allows you... Okay, so I hold it.
Yeah, it switches differently from Dark Souls because your movement is different. So yeah, it'll just go for whatever is like around. And I'm pretty sure the way it was working for me is you have to have the enemies in your sight to fire the missiles at them.
Yeah, it's kind of what I saw because I scanned everybody and I can't tell if it was just like I ran out of...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure once you take them off screen, they don't count.
F access. Look at these little trains I'm just blowing up. C to use repair kit. Got it.
Your AC's taking damage. Patch it
Cool.
up.
2 repair kits remaining.
See the contaminated city down there? That's where you're landing.
That?
Access the catapult.
That's a left of it, actually.
Like, there's not a thing down there that says I should use it. Was packing out. Oh, my bet was 3 deaths for first boss because Blaine's a former Gundam pilot. It's true. But we all know how well I played Gundam, so... Hopefully this one's a little chunkier, that it gets more of that Dark Souls, like, specificity of what you have to do, that I'll be gold, rather than those quick twitch fibers.
Time to fly, 621.
Too old for that.
If we get our hands on Rubicon's coral, we'll make a killing. Plenty for a merc with a fried brain like you to buy their life back.
Ooh. Does this actually connect to the rest of the story?
I have no idea.
So in AC1, spoiler alert for Armored Core!
For the oldest Armored Core game.
You would get through a level, and then at the end of the level, you'd have to buy ammo for the next mission, right? And you'd buy weapons, you'd buy upgrades. But if you kept losing, you kept having to pay to repair your bot. And if you lost money, you would start selling your body parts, and until you were basically cyborged out. And then that became like a whole part of the game, was this ulterior like company that was cyborging people to have them run as mercenary weapons for them. Shift is quick boost, instantly accelerate, helping you evade enemy attacks. Got it. Reload. How long does this reload take?
You can do a manual reload with Y as well, plus the weapon button.
Y?
Yeah, you hold down, or oh, sorry, yeah, like I said, I'm playing controller. You hold down the weapon button and then you press another key.
E to use right shoulder. This to do left-handed weapon. What's my reload? Control. Input. Yeah, you do input device settings. Edit. Where is purge weapon is P.
They just told me I'm going home in an armored coffin.
How do you know Blaine had a fried brain? Did FromSoft eavesdrop on me? Yeah. Maybe it's a mouse bind? E for next category. I'm gonna try purge weapon. Let's try P, see if that... No, P's the opposite side of the keyboard. There's no way it's P. Why would anything be P?
One repair kit remaining.
Oops. No, I can't reload this weapon apparently.
I guess the missiles will just automatically reload every time you use them.
Control is assault boost. S during boost, cancel assault boost. Got it.
Picking up signals from AC Rex. Follow the markers.
Ooh.
We're being attacked!
Unidentified AC. Return fire.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
What?
We got something good. Get out of there. You can handle them.
That's the PCA's planetside force. Keep a low profile. We
Oh.
don't want them breathing down our necks.
Got it. Low profile.
That's the AC from the report.
I assume in this one they're not going to be as harsh because the way it happens is it just automatically deducts costs.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. I assume they'll let you go into debt and they're not going to force you to sell stuff off. And then you just can't buy new stuff because that's how most games will do it.
They might, yeah.
Extract the pilot data. I'll analyze it from my end.
I love the actual directional shielding. That's cool.
Yeah, and you can actually just like flank them and shoot them if you don't have your melee. If you like swap it for something else, although I don't see any reason to swap it for anything else yet.
License code extracted. Cool. RB18. Call sign Thomas Kirk. Rank 26. Cool.
This one's already expired.
Okay, so I do have a melee still. Okay. Stay hidden. Don't die on the fire, but go this way. Keep it sneaky. Why don't I still have the triangle on me? Where's that at? Oh, it's just object.
Analyzing.
Apparently, only kinetic weapons can be reloaded. Should weapons can't. Interesting. RB29 from Balam Industries. That was old games. Oh, don't shoot at me. Or is that visibility? I can't tell.
As I say, there are some units on that map I believe have a long line of sight.
The kind of the red Pizza Hut hat, that's just sound that like they know I'm over here kind of a thing, or is that?
Maybe if you activated the squad. I wasn't really paying attention.
Oop. Get my stuff back. Nice. Gotta end it with a sword slash, right?
Sword slash is always cool.
It takes way too long to reload the sword slash.
Yeah.
But it is pretty powerful, so I don't fall
I mean,
for
if you
that.
could just use it anytime you're in melee, you'd only want to use it because it just
Hold
does
F
more damage.
plus the attack button.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure it does like it has like 950 power versus your gun, which is
hold R plus the attack of the thing you want to reload. I figured it out.
I think your gun does like 100 damage shot, and that thing does like 950. So yeah,
Totally,
it's a little bit stronger.
Vertical catapult. Okay. Space while on a catapult.
Use that vertical catapult to get some altitude.
Where's the vert catapult? Is it what they're sending me to here? No way.
Oh yeah, it shoots you up, so you just go to it.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, you go all the way around, and then you're like, oh, I have to go up. And you press the circle button, yeah.
It's not my circle button, but... Stuff's just exploding.
Registration number RB23. Rank fits the bill. Call sign. What? Looks like they were onto you after all. I'm in no mood to pick a fight with the PCA. But it doesn't matter. Take it out now and they won't have enough to ID you. Use your mobility in the air to get clear of explosions on the ground.
I'll say definitely pay attention to your poise, yeah.
No. Oh, there's a bigger one.
Use your sword.
Am I getting close enough to it?
Yeah. Because that's what the boost is good for when it's not trying to escape from you. Because sometimes it has like it'll try to move away from you. Other times it won't really be moving. Then you can get it. Yeah, using the boost.
I can't charge it front on.
Yeah, doing the boost charge is a lot better than just trying to fly at it.
No.
Yeah, sword just does more damage. That's why you want to use it.
I'll use what I damn well want to use. You play your Fire Emblems and I'll blow up my robots.
That's it. Try accessing the rack.
That's one.
Joey, I'll keep count.
Registration number RB23. Rank fits the bill. Call sign. What?
Oh, I can't leave this area here.
Looks like they were onto you after all. No need to pick a fight with the PCA. But it doesn't matter. Take it out now, they won't have enough to ID you. Use your mobility in the air to get clear of explosions on the ground.
Reload. Ah, I thought it was close enough.
Repair kits remaining.
Dang it. Get my stuff back. Get him. Get him, blow him up.
Slash him.
AP at 50%.
Make it count 621.
We got what we came for? What did we come for? He's outside the barrier! Oh, that asshole.
Yeah, he doesn't have to pay attention to it.
No repair kits remaining.
What the heck is that move? Oh, that must be like my stamina thing or whatever.
Yeah.
AP at 50%.
Boom. Kampai, Chopper Man.
Confirmed. Heavy combat helicopter is down.
I wonder if I can change the color of my my little yellow bar there. I'm guessing it's yellow. It's really hard for me to like kind of see it.
Yeah, it's the one directly above the energy.
Yeah. If it was green, I could like it would be out of the like in my peripheral nicely, but being yellow, it sort of fades into the grayish backgrounds. Yeah, I got paid. There's my expenses, my repair costs. Yep, this is all part of it. There's your income, your balance sheets every time.
Coral, a sublime substance.
Ooh, lore.
Discovered on Rubicon, a planet on the frontier of developed space. For a time, Coral was a revolutionary energy resource and data conduit, poised to transform human society by leaps and bounds. They called
One
it
death, very good.
Fires
Have a good one, Alex.
A storm of flame that tore through the stars, leaving lethal
Ooh.
contamination in its wake.
Fire survivors.
Coral, the kindling, was thought to have been utterly consumed, forever lost. However,
That was a really nice image.
on Rubicon, the embers continued to burn. Humanity would inevitably return.
Of course we would. But not as human
Stoke
anymore.
The fire.
Registration number RB23. Call sign.
RB23.
Authentication complete.
We're almost to RB23. The Red Bull Formula car is called RB19. Arena rank F.
The mercenary support system.
And you found one, not necessarily a good one.
Looks like you passed the authentication. Raven, that's who you are now.
Oh, Raven's who you were originally too. This is cool.
For you already. Take a look, 621.
Thank you.
This notification
Drill, baby, drill.
access privileges. Allmind provides a combat training simulator to support its mercenaries. Your license was in a suspended state. Perhaps you may need a refresher. As an added incentive, completion of the exercises will be rewarded with AC parts.
Woo! Parts! Gotta collect them all.
To benefit regardless.
Sounds good, all mind. Sortie. AC design. We'll do design first. Assembly. Customize AC. Assemblies using the parts you have available in the assembly menu. When you ensure your build keeps within the maximum weight and EN load parameters. Open help menu. Oh man, I wonder if this game has any of the like you just max out your energy and create this little like slow moving tank that just decimates. Arm unit. Got a Turner rifle. Can do nothing. The other
I don't
arm.
think you have any ones at the start.
My butter. You want some butt, eh? Little Ramalama. Finder eye. Okay. Okay, so you click into that. So we got. Interesting. Orbiter. Here's the core sections. Okay, we can just do E to keep going to the side. Orbiter. Arms. Oh, that's much better. I'll just use this. Boosters. I usually tend to go for like a Death Scythe build where I have like fast boost and melee focus, but we'll see what I end up with. Maybe we do a heavy arms. Paint.
I haven't really changed my stuff that much. I've just been upgrading the armor to the basic level.
You can just pick colors. Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh yeah, you can change it by like the whole mech too if you want.
User.
So I spent time customizing like a specific one that had. Then I was like, oh, how do I get on the rest of the body parts? You can't transfer it over that easily.
Yeah, and you can do entire frame separate of your.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna darken up here. Oops. No, don't discard the exit. Confirm it. Materials, different lusters. Ooh, we can make it shiny chrome. No, I want 0 luster. I want to be very matte colored here. Sub color. Hold on, 1 second, everybody. Armor Horse 6, exactly. Going with the first Gunpla I ever bought. See what we can do here.
Long time favorite.
Haven't even hardly started the game yet. We're already getting into the real fun of everything. I'll set this guy right in front of me so I can look at him, but y'all know what he looks like. If I get in and you're not, like we play together, and you're not in a Tequila Gundam, I'm gonna be pretty sad, okay? No lust, only Matt Walsh, yeah. Okay. Let's just make oops. No. We're gonna do everything in like a different color that's kind of wacky. It's something I can kind of tell the differences of. Yeah. Confirm. Other.
Looking at like a transformer out here.
What is it? What's other on here?
Looks like it's right next to your head, I think.
That, oh, yeah, back there. Okay.
There's probably little other tiny bits.
And then device. Okay, there's a bunch of little bits there. We'll make those white. Okay. I keep hitting escape when I should hit something different. Pattern? Oh, gross.
Oh yeah, the patterns have a separate color thing.
And weathering. Okay, we're gonna stay clean for right now. Oh yeah, nice, shiny like a toy. Okay. So, head. The main of the head, black is fine. The sub of the head on the side, I want...
This really does look like something a colorblind person would come up with.
Red. Okay, red. Yeah, see, this is how I view the world, so that I don't, so that I can see differences in things. That's what this is.
You wouldn't like my mech. I don't think you'd be able to understand what's going on.
Luster. Probably have white for the underlay here. Okay, confirm that. The optional. This is an interesting. Okay, so that's that one. So this has to be. I think this has to be the bright yellow. Some kind of yellow right in there. Is that yellow enough? You think? That's probably yellow enough, right?
That's yellow. Yeah. It's also not quite yellow. That's green, but
less green. Got it. More red.
And you could just drag the slider over a little bit more towards yellow.
Yeah, but if I use the color numbers, then I'll know it is yellow. I can just remove the green, you know.
Well, it's still the green, though.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, because the color slider matters.
No, see, as you move these, it'll move the color slider. See, look at the color sliders go.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah. Shouldn't still be green. It's pretty heavy.
Because it just looked pretty green still after messing with it.
I'm just gonna go max red, max yellow, or max green. That should be a solid yellow, and I can maybe blue it up a hint. That'll just brighten it. Now let's keep it goldy. Okay, and then still staying 0, 0, and the pink bit. Oh, it's just the neck. Okay, the neck is gonna go dark as well. And device, what are you? Oh, you're going red device, because that's a little chin bit. Okay. All right. Core. All right, this will be interesting here for the core bit. Main black, yes. Sub going also black. Okay. Support bits are going into this sort of. So we're gonna do 140s across the board for the gray we're using. Optionals. Those little guys are actually white on the best side, believe it or not. We're doing endless waltz version. color is the neck bit. Oh, and it's that little bit in the back too. We can go black on that. That'll be all right. Why, when I right click, does it always go back to that page? That's a weird choice. Game. Can I can't move around at all. I can only like kind of select through. And then device. What do you device? Device is the once again going to the max red. Okay. Arms. Okay, the arms are an interesting one here. So our main controls too much, so it has to be in the red. But our sub, use sub in the white. Yeah, because there is a lot of white on this guy. Support will go into our gray. What did I say that was? 140s across the board? Yeah. Perfect. No luster. Optional tiddly bits. Tiddly bits. Are there any tiddly bits on you? No, they're kind of mostly just a gray arm. Gray, black, white. So we'll go back to our gray. 5, 6, 7, 8. 140 and 140. Cool. And the other, I don't see anything changing there, so we're gonna make this one black. And device, I like the devices all being red. I like that. Can I duplicate a color set? Current color. Oh, I know what I can do. I can do F. Yes. Okay. So I can pick this one, and we can go here, and I can do color set, and I can go to my user set and just make this arm the same. Perfect. And then legs are a single set. We're gonna just do that. Okay, so the knees are correct. The main on the legs is actually gray, believe it or not. For the old Death Scythe Endless Waltz version. Okay. Sub needs to stay white. Support gray, that gray. Other. Oh man, the worst part of this is that the feet and the knees are both in like the same category. Oh, I hate this. I hate this.
Can't customize it enough for your liking.
Yeah, because his knees have white knee horns, but his feet are black. I can't make a Death Scythe yet. Maybe there'll be something that I can do the feet.
It has a different patterns for other pieces, yeah.
Alright, well, we'll worry about that later. Set you down for a second. Device being red, I still like. We'll leave this kind of like that. Weapon, eh? We'll just hit it with that same set. Ooh, it would be cool if the if I could change the color of like the blade. Do you think that's what this is?
Maybe. I have not actually. I didn't try.
If device color is the blade color, then I can actually make the lime green of the crazy scythe sword. So that'll be fun. Immersion ruined. Might as well refund the game.
You still have time.
It's 2. Okay. All right, there we are. Until I get like wings and kind of better equipment. Oh, I really hope that when I pull the trigger on that, it ends up being that. I'm sure down the line I'll turn one of these into an Evangelion. We'll Save edits and quit. Decals.
Whoa, I should be able to stand there. That's stupid.
Head decal. Preset. Downloaded? Those are the things you guys have been posting. I can literally...
That's why I posted, yeah.
Download. Okay, cool. I'll worry about those later. I'm not going to do decals right now. Image editor. You just straight up pixel art it. Oh no, you use shapes? Oh my goodness. This is hilarious. Okay. It's just like those old Halo things you used to
Halo
make.
emblems.
Yeah. That's my AC data. Enter a name for the data. Death. Oops. Why is that? Death Scythe? Add Bijo's Oshi mark. Sure. Oh, and you can download other people's like fully made mechs. That's kind of cool. Become a fellow pebbler. All right, how do I download these things?
There was a little site. You can just go to one of the links I posted, and you can go to get to the site from there.
Share ID, creator ID. Image editor. Enter a share ID. Okay, I'm on. 5 boo 35 G's. Enter. Perfect. Okay. Decals right on the head. Putting the rock right on the head there. All right, let me go back in so you can see it. There it is. We got rock on the head. All right. And then also, right arm. Yeah, we can put it on the right arm too. AC data. Save this one. Yes. All right, now I'm a pebbler. Check incoming jobs and sorting on missions from the missions menu. Complete missions to progress the story. Okay, I got 2 missions here. One pays 100K, one pays 68K. Mop up Defang MT squads. Okay. Replay missions. You can replay a mission, and you can get a obtain mercenary license. Objective retrieve data.
That was.
Do you still get your money back, or is this comb? Is this different than the money?
No, that's money.
That's
you
the
get
money?
more money if you replay the mission, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, actually. Training. Basic controls. And the training will give me more weapons, I think it said. So I'll probably...
Yeah, I think it gives you one every time you
deploy
do your
AC on
mission.
a test run. Yeah, let's do a quick test run here. This should just be like a big room, right, that I could play around in.
Yeah, that's separate from the training.
AC test, functionality and behavior of AC. Nah, it doesn't make the attack green. Quit test. Thank you. Alrighty, let's do beginner training. See if we can unlock some more cool tools. Actually, let's see if I can AC 6 change weapon or sword color. Booster colors when the garage run, click AC design, assembly, navigate. So you can change your booster colors. Based on the type of generator you have. Doesn't look like I can change the sword. Blaine, watch Ahsoka. But I have so much anime to watch.
No.
Am I supposed to just shoot these guys direct, or am I supposed to get closer so I can target them? So I can get you on the channel, lol. Episode 4 was really good. Okay, so building up the... Once they're at their load limit, they go down.
Yeah, you can see their limit above their HP. The white one's HP, and the yellow bar that builds up is the limit.
I don't know if I like the lock-on anymore. We'll see. I might have to turn it on and off for a while. Oh, and here it tells me R right-click to reload. Perfect. I learned that on my own game. Thank you very much.
It probably works better without lock-on on PC.
Hold
E
you
can actually aim.
Multi-lock. Yeah, that makes sense. It's not gonna target them. Oh, I got him. One, two, three. Oh, okay. The red lock-on target is a little hard for me to see that it's actually confirmed a lock-on. I don't know about that.
And there should be colorblind options if you check settings. I mean, it's a Japanese game. How bad could it be?
Right.
Maybe that's the first real boss they think of. That mission unlocks some new weapons.
The first boss is the colorblind settings all along.
Yeah.
Quality
The real
settings?
boss is colorblind settings we didn't find along the way.
It's all render. Quality detail? Depth of field, anti-aliasing, ray tracing. Everything's on high. Except I don't have ray tracing. I guess I could turn that on, but... I don't worry about it. Oh, that only applies in the garage. Your ray tracing. You watch One Piece yet? No, I have not watched the One Piece live action yet. It'll be interesting because again, I'm familiar with One Piece, but I've never seen One Piece. Initially, right with the R key, just had an extra step. Yeah. V for a scan. Okay. Ooh, we got a target right behind a wall. He thought he could hide. How far can you lunge? You can lunge pretty far, actually, looks like. Did I get any of them? Oh, he's got a shield on. That's the problem. You really liked it. You've been watching it again. Oh, interesting. We've had some complaints in this one, or in this here area. Nothing too crazy. I think it's still better than most. Dad hates anime and cartoons. He's loving live-action One Piece, and he wants more. Well, Dad, you can.
There's 1,000 other episodes for you.
Yeah, I got a new gun. So you got a new gun. Interesting, they always make you melee with your left hand for now.
Oh, no, you can get other weapons for your other hand.
So, way weaker, but it's way lighter. Okay. And less energy.
I think it fires faster. Because you have to, I think you test it out, it'll be a faster firing gun.
Total rounds are the same, which is interesting. Does it show me mag? Okay. AP, defense, boost.
Click the toggle display.
Wait, where?
Which is F, I think. Maybe it's X.
Oh, there it is.
That's the full specification, yeah.
Okay, so I have this one equipped. Here we go. Direct hit adjustment is faster. Recoil is less. Ideal range is less.
It also fires 3 times as fast.
Yeah, quite a bit faster. So 3 times as fast. I'll give it a shot. We'll play with Ludlow for a while. I like that it auto colors to what I have already set up.
Yeah, that is pretty nice.
That's the only training for now. He doesn't want to watch the anime. Oh no. Yeah, so this is gonna be fun too, because I can always go back and play some of the older levels and just get more money off stream. Very enjoyable game. Let's do a mission. All right, we will do the grid 135 cleanup. Eliminate enemy squads. A little bit less money, but it might also be less expensive.
Got a job for you, 621. It's an open call from the Arquebus Group, one of the extraplanetary corporate forces.
To all independent mercenaries.
Oh, this
request comes from Schneider of the Arquebus Group. The operation will take place in grid 135, Southern Belius. Your objective is to destroy an MT squad sent by Dafeng, a Balaam company, and a competitor.
Nami actress is your new crush? Really?
In Arquebus's efforts to conduct a coral survey in the contaminated city. You, the independent mercenaries.
Ooh, thank you, sub. Starting up stream, I was wondering if you could be interested in custom graphics for my channel. Yeah, I'm always interested in custom graphics. Drop them in my Discord, send them to my email. But until the stream makes real money, then I'm not paying for them. Well, you'll get money if you do it. Okay, so you can do your assembly before you go. Nifty. Let's sortie.
You've got ID. Now you need a rep. Get their attention, 621.
Oop. We're red lighting. Right as I start a mission. We'll see. We'll see if we can blast through this, and then we'll be good. More 2D jubblies for the rest of us.
System activating combat mode.
Activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Wipe out the Dafeng MT squad.
Dafeng MT squad. I like that this sort of like sprint is not using energy.
Enemy attack! 1AC!
Looks like the Arquebus Group hired some muscle. An independent mercenary, huh? At least they didn't send the Vespers.
Intercepting! They're just mass-produced MTs.
Where are they at?
Wipe them out, 621.
Okay, got a shield bolt.
This AP pilot's sharp.
Focus your fire!
Okay, I got the perfect design. I got the perfect stickers on my mech. I got anime girl face and Neko arc.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah.
That burst turned through us. Damn it. Arquebus really scored this time.
I'm picking up new enemy signatures. Looks like reinforcements. Eliminate them.
Got this last target here. There's our new reinforcements. We'll go say hi. Slash. I can just run into them too. That's kind of funny. Commander Michigan needs to know. I don't think Michigan knows anything.
The enemy MT squad has been eliminated. That's it for this job, 621. Return to base.
Used a lot of ammo on that. I don't think I should have used as much ammo. It's in your portfolio on Discord if you want. If not, then that's cool as well. Blaine has the highest quality VTubing rig already. His avatar looks so real. No one realizes I'm actually a girl. That would be hilarious. But I am great with penis.
One new message.
Nice short.
That's a cool.
Nice short
This is a
mission.
notification from All Might, the mercenary support system. Registration number RB23. Call sign.
I'll finish this one up. I'll show you my mecha before we get off.
Yeah, let me see what you got.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little training mission, just finishing one of those.
New features available. Parts shop. Heck yeah, baby. And training. New data. Parts shop buy. There we go. Look at that rifle. Look at that pistol. Rocket launcher.
Yeah, I didn't try the pistol yet myself. I used the...
Oh, I know. I've got left arm guns too.
I basically used the AK, yeah. I want to try the rocket launcher. That seems like it'll be fun.
Are the left and right, like, specific to the weapons?
They do have some different ones, yeah.
Like, you have to buy a weapon for your left hand?
But the thing is, like I said, you could sell them easily, so you can also switch. Yeah. It's not too hard.
Compact dual cell dual missile launcher developed for furlongs. Traps targets in pincer trajectory, limiting evasive options. I like that as sounds. Pulse shield. Standard pulse shield developed by Takagawa Harmonics. Generally unremarkable in terms of performance, but is well balanced for its low EN footprint. Also offers relatively long initial guard duration. Oh, that might be nifty. Get a shield going on. Get another 4-cell missile launcher. I'm guessing these are going to get deployed off a Q, would be my guess.
I got a new booster for that one. I think give me a couple of parts for that, actually.
Cooler heads. I get a head with an antenna on it. That is totally an Evangelion head. Looks like a little knight. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, here's one. I got I got the Neck-Orc.
Nice.
I think AC design, yeah.
Yeah.
This one I got the AK, just a sword.
Nice green and purple going on, or green and blue.
Yeah. I got the anime girl emblems. That's actually the character from Signal. So I just browsed through and I saw the
Oh, there's a browse? It's just on that website?
Yeah, you can just browse on the website, go to the home area, and then you can just see the popular ones. And you can search for different ones. I got the little leg thing because it looks
Very
funny.
cool.
Because pretty based. I got like moderate damage, and I just like the green-blue color schemes. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's actually a little bit purple. It's hard. It's kind of hard to see because it's pretty subtle. But yeah, that's actually purple because I like the little accent. I just like the mix of color. I think it looks pretty nice.
Ooh, the lightweight core makes it look kind of like Barbados a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna do different arms. I think I'm gonna do these arquebus arms, maybe something that has like some good flair on it, you know, so I can get those winged shoulders. Legs.
Oh, hi, my neighbor. Neighbor.
Neighbor.
Hi, my neighbor.
Hi, my neighbor. I kind of like these are pretty cool too. Booster, second gen booster. Okay, better speed might be worth the load for sure. Second generation FCS developed a furlong. The model was developed for furlong established. Okay, what does this do though? Reduce missile lock time. Okay. And then these generators, internal combustion. This would give me like a reddish color for everything. It would be less capacity but quicker recharge. Interesting. I feel like my recharge is already pretty fast. So
yeah, I didn't really feel the need for it either.
Still, it might be fun to have red everywhere. Awesome. Awesome, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me on this wild ride of looking at education in America, specifically in Oklahoma. How do I just escape? Do I just exit? Tab, display system menu, quick
Oh, you
game,
should be able to press the,
save and quit.
whatever
There
the
we
menu
go.
button is, and it'll let you go.
Yeah. Good night, closeted Raylos. Everyone's a closeted Raylo, I guess. Because all closeted Raylos hide in the closet. First new game in 3 months. It's true. It's very, very true. Everyone, have a wonderful rest of your night. I'll catch you all tomorrow for Waifu Wednesday, where we look at the anime top 10 list and see how things are faring for the season. We're pretty deep into the season, so maybe on Thursday we get us a drop episode, and we finally release some of this anime back into the wild, where it can fetter and die for all we care. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll catch you then. Kampai.